I'll give that joke again. Like, I don't care.
I think you. Oh yeah, here we go. We got the people. Already got some people in chat.
Are we live?
We will see here. I'm gonna see if I can, whenever I can hear this, hear it pop up in stream. It should be starting. It should be going. So then the people can hear the lovely tale. Feel free also to check the link to see if you see it before I do.
I'm looking at the live chat. That's how I'm gonna keep it.
Okay. Because I think we're about there. People can hear. I've pressed the button. One is YouTube.
I think we are. I can hear on YouTube.
Oh yeah, here we go. We're going.
Hello, welcome,
Hi.
friends.
Anyways, Kauthar, tell us about how the transformation of the thumbnail.
The one stream I'm in is gonna be so clunky getting started. This is Curtis and I'm Cal and we're gonna have a good time.
Oh wait, you can't introduce me.
I can't?
That's not how. Well, I guess you can.
Why don't you introduce and then we'll segue into the joke.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Hi, I'm Curtis. I create stuff in this place. I create games, and this is Kauthar. She creates life with the character she voices.
Is that because I'm a girl? Oh, okay. I was like, really hamming on the girl angle, aren't you, Curtis?
Oh yeah,
like,
hello.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, hello, Night and Starlight. Welcome. Thank you for your patronage. This is such because I think this has been the most collaborative thumbnail I've created for a stream yet. Because I jokingly mentioned, oh, we should just simply clickbait the fact that you're the first girl on stream, and you're like, yeah, do it. So I did it.
Mama didn't raise no punk.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the record, I historically have always dominated at Truth or Dare.
Oh,
so no one should challenge me.
Okay. I guess so. So yeah, I figured. All right, we got the girl, we got the character relevant to the project, and we have Toph Bay Fong. Because who doesn't love Toph Bay Fong?
I know, right?
Yeah.
She's kind of baller.
So we were talking right before this started about how going to Toph and being like, "Hey, listen, we have the solution to cure your blindness, so you can see like everyone else. Keep everything else all your earth
because the thumbnail has Toph and then an arrow into Trixie, the cat girl. And so I was like, oh dang, that thumbnail! It looks like through your mad science, Curtis, you're transforming mild-mannered 12-year-old Toph into the anime cat girl of your dreams.
Oh, now you're making it personal.
It was always personal.
Okay, yeah.
But so then Curtis brought up the thing. It's like, oh no, we have this new technology. We have a solution to your blindness, but there is a price. And I countered, and I was like, you know what? I don't think Toph would necessarily want her blindness resolved. Like, she's cool with where she's at. She's got size and extents. Like, she's complete as a person. She's content. But on the other hand, I don't think she would necessarily oppose becoming a cat girl. Like, I don't think she'd really have any reservations about that.
There is no lore to suggest so. Actually, who knows? Maybe actually now that I think about it, because I imagine again, if she likes the idea of just being covered in fur and being all soft.
Right? It's a vibe.
Yeah.
And then it made me think of those. Do y'all remember those old wager memes or oh, I offer this in exchange for this memes?
Yeah.
That's what it made me think of. It's like a counter offer.
The trade
You
deal.
leave me exactly how I am, blind and all, and you also make me a cat girl. The ultimate bargain.
This is why you're here.
Happy to help.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll circle back to my expertise that landed me this juicy gig. Hi everyone, my name is Kauthar Harak Sharif. My friends call me Cal. And I voice Toph in the Book 4 Air Restoration Project. And that is how I met our friend Curtis here.
Yay.
Yay! Yay, Curtis! Yay, book 4. Please check them out if you don't already know who they are. They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, I just tooted my own horn. Oh no, fine.
I messed up. Wait, one moment. I did the wrong thing real quick. There we go. Anyways, continue.
But book 4 is actually like the first big voice acting role that I've landed. I've always had a lot of respect for the craft of voice acting, and it's always been like a big lofty dream aspiration of mine. And it's kind of crazy to think like I am living my dream. What? But before, how do I articulate this? Basically, a lot of fellow voice acting friends tend to be surprised when they find out that my background is actually in theater, because not all voice actors, not even most voice actors, background comes from theatrical acting. Which, I mean, if your foundation is acting, that's the rock that's going to carry you through to many different mediums of acting. Mm-hmm. But there are differences and nuances, and even just in the way the industry functions and the way you perform your job. So yeah, my experience is in theater, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the transition into voice acting and what that's like. And I'm probably going to get off task and make a lot of weird jokes, and that's just what you're here for. So. Enjoy the ride.
I'm sure it will be an enjoyable one.
I see you, Knight, fellow theater kid. What up?
Yay, fellow theater kid. I was not theater. But I vibe
I'm
with
the non-believer, guys.
I vibe with when I was in high school. I was with a group of people that were in like my video editing class, but they were also all in band, so they were very much again doing performing.
Oh yeah,
stuff
I had a
as well.
ton of band friends. Like I think if my friends weren't in theater, they were in band. Though I did have a few orchestra kiddos, but like I don't know any. I don't think I associated with people who weren't involved in some fine art in some capacity.
Ryoma's here. Get with the times. I mean.
Yeah, get with the times.
How much
Curtis.
more got can I be now? It's like I am here with the theater kids.
He caught up as soon as he could.
Yeah, I'm making strides. All right, I'm not gonna. On occasion, I will do the screen share for you, Cal, so you can react a bit more directly to stuff that is going on. So here is the game. Welcome to the game. So yeah.
Welcome to the jam. No, it's come on and slam. And welcome to the jam. Bass jam reference.
Yeah. All right. You see everything?
Such a wonderful town.
Yay. Okay. Oh, I forgot. So fun fact.
Is that Heidi?
What? No, this is not. But this is actually. This is Lexina, and I forgot. She's actually. I've gotten quite a few fan arts of her. She was originally like a side character, and then like everyone started making fan art, and I was just like, dang, I guess I gotta upgrade her to like primary character status now. She's a magic girl. She's got like a cape and skirt and everything. I guess people.
Yeah,
just
that'll
like
do it.
Yes. So no, that is not her.
There's a whole genre about people who like that.
There's a whole the whole magical girl. Hang on, let me quickly do a debug thing because I'm currently at the beginning of the game where you only get 2 characters. So, anyways,
delivering mail by moonlight, never running from a real fight.
Which one is that?
Oh, I was doing Sailor Moon.
Okay, yes.
Except I was changing the lyrics to fit.
I figured. I figured.
The
French horn, my beloved. Yeah, French horn. I vibe with French horn. Violence, yeah. Still friends with... Oh, good. You're still friends with the violin teacher? Okay, that's nice. It's nice still being able to vibe with some of the teachers that taught us over the years. That's
yeah. I
nice.
have so many of my former teachers on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I hunt them down. I don't think they want to see me. Some of them I'm definitely, like, on good terms with, for sure. Some of them, like, I'm not that I'm on bad terms, but, like, I could imagine as a teacher being like, this fucking kid again, my God. I was a handful, I'm sure.
So yeah, in terms of characters, here's the mail carrier. Here's Heidi.
Heidi!
There she is.
AKA
Ryoma was on the last stream, and we had a funny moment where I was just like, yes, Heidi's in a box. I've taken her, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Release her. Free my girl Heidi.
Yeah, we got Heidi. She got the bow. Oh, there she is. Yeah, there she is.
That was so good. It
sounds.
was very loud, but it was so good.
I do need to do some sound balances of it.
No,
yeah.
it's cool. I'm just gonna turn the stream volume down on my end.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and she's got a campfire that heals you up and also burns things.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So that's her thing.
Also, does Trixie have the McDonald's logo on her forehead?
They all do. I mean, it's not the McDonald's logo; it's the mail carrier logo.
Fooled me. It looks gold. Like, it looks like the golden arches, my friend.
Well, oh wait, are you looking at the icon?
Yeah, with the health
Okay,
bars.
yeah, those need to be adjusted, because it's actually like that for all of the characters. In recent times, I have adopted making the thing entirely gold, like the picture on the stream, because I do not want a lawsuit.
My only, an idea I had is, what if you put, an envelope, a rectangle behind it?
Well, that was the idea. It's not just an M; it's also the letter envelope, the shape.
Nice.
Yeah. So, got Riker, another friend. Right now, I've swapped the party characters because before it was
Isn't
the first.
Rikers a prison?
What?
Isn't Rikers a prison?
It is, but
making
it's also a character from Star Trek. So. Oh wait.
Fair enough.
Also, clone apparently. This is supposed to happen. Anyways, let me fix this real quick. There she is.
Hey, yo!
Yeah. Now, it's worth noting that Trixie is the 5th character to be developed. However, currently she only has her walking sprite in at the moment. She does... she also has her old, swipe animation, but it's not that great. I commissioned someone to do the new sword swiping, the one that actually looks good. I still have yet to get Trixie on that system, but she's here.
I can't believe you wouldn't give my character that I voice a sword.
She's supposed to. She is supposed to have a blade.
But you called me on this stream. Sans sword. I see.
Look, it was a real quick swap. I just quickly changed the spot where it said...
This slight will not be forgotten.
She needs time. She needs time. Our girl needs time to bake.
Fine, let her cook.
Yeah. She will have fire abilities, but since I do not have them programmed in right now, she also has the campfire ability. So she at least functionally works in terms of, burning things
Well, as
down.
soon as I get my fire powers, you and me, Agni Kai.
Oh, dang. Dang. Oh, that's gonna be how it goes. So anyways, and then finally... I guess I should have been somewhere else to do this. I really should have a quick button that takes me back. But you know what? Actually, I think I will just simply go do this. Okay. I'm using my developer powers. Going around, going here, and then going...
Developer powers.
Then going here. Alright. And I'm going all the way back here so that I can go to this load zone that takes me to the testing room.
For his mad scientist anime cat girl experiment.
Man, when you put it like that.
I mean, you made the game.
Okay. Oh, hey. Oh, it's Red Velvet. Yes, Red Velvet is the voice of the mail carrier. Another person, yeah, so you would recognize Ryoma. So yeah.
Oh, they're real good. They're so good.
Yeah. So the final big thing that Trixie brings to the table. So Jita.
She has a sword.
Oh, actually, yeah. I guess. I can't.
swords.
Wait. Yeah, I can make. Hang on. I can make Kauthar. But yeah. So Jita, she has fire and she has a bow. So she technically has 2 things. But Trixie also has fire. So yeah, hang on. Let me pick it up. Let me make Kauthar. Oh wait. There we go. Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, well, kind of.
Let's go.
Kind of. The sword animations are out of whack.
We slice the dices. Let's go.
Okay, but you at least have it. Okay. But anyways, here's Trixie's other main ability that she brings to the table. So, for example, there's a jump ability. You can jump across things. So, you can jump across this little gap
That
here.
is not
but
a jump, my friend.
it's it's close. It's fine for now. It's fine for now. If you want something better, program it yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
We all have swords.
Yeah.
I mean, Heidi doesn't have a sword, but
He was finishing my Aladdin reference.
oh, okay, yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's like, he's got a sword, you idiots. We've all got swords.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
One
So-
Jump song, the opening number of Aladdin.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I remember. So
I guess
here,
it's the second number. Sorry, I'm rambling. Go ahead.
yeah, so here's the thing. So if I try and hop across this one, it's too much for most characters to go across. But the big thing is Trixie, she can actually make these longer jumps. Go across here. So she's her little jump dash thing has way more distance, so she can clear gaps that other characters can't. So this gives her a good exploration bonus, and I guess also a combat bonus because if something's coming after her, she can just quickly go whoosh. Because she light and she fast on her feet.
This is a request, and obviously it's up to your discretion. But
Yes.
what if you made their arms fly back like they're Naruto running? I might believe the jump that way.
Wait, what do you mean if they're not? But that is what's happening. Their arms.
Wait,
The arms are
that's
flying
what's
back.
happening. Okay, you win this round.
I did. Your request was so good, I already did it. This is getting tense here. No, it's very chill. It's very chill.
I mean,
Unless you.
those look like saltines, and I'm here for it.
What, oh, you mean up here in the corner?
Yes.
It's sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Calm down, Anakin.
Yeah, let me just. Oh no! Oh no! It's back. Ooh, that's gonna be. That's rough.
I love you.
That was a crash. So I tried to pick up that shovel, and it ended the world.
I mean, classic.
Classic. You made me feel self-conscious about my saltine sand, and then you made me destroy everything.
I wasn't mad at the sand. I just liked that it looked. I literally said I like that.
It wasn't supposed to be saltine.
They were so square, my dude. They were crackers.
Alright. Anyway, so finally, let me just simply... Oh, wait, no, let me use my powers to their fullest extent. Anyways, I guess the final thing I'll mention before I get to we move on. This right here, this is actually the town where you get the mail from, where the post office is. So you can...
I cannot
Oh, wait.
see, but
Wait. Oh, every
I
screen
believe you.
shared.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, wait, I forgot. There's a cutscene that has to play. I don't want it to come. I don't want it to happen here. So okay, I spammed through it. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So here's where everything is. I don't think I've actually showed this on stream. This is Jerry. Jerry is the postmaster. He's basically your boss. And this is Reggie. He stays here and he sorts the mail because poor boy's an introvert and has subpar social skills.
Reggie. I'm thinking of that one scene. I think it's from Shrek 2. It's where they
Yeah.
get that like summons for
Oh,
to
yeah.
see her parents
With the
and
trumpets.
It's like, enough, Reggie.
Enough, Reggie. Yeah. There's so much on-screen bullying, and I'm here for it. Sure, Ryoma. That's what.
I mean, Ryoma,
cool.
what did you expect?
Mm-hmm.
No one is here to defend him.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sure that Jerry and Reggie are very busy with their work, so I'm gonna let them do it. Anyways, back to the thing. So, if you've probably maybe heard me at least once before on because I know you've been in the chat for some of the streams, Cal. But the thing we're working on is Jita's story quest. So after you get your job, you the first quest that you get is Jita's quest, where you're out delivering one day and you meet Jita. She is hanging out, or no, she's hanging out around this area, and she finds a girl, close to the woods, and she's like, hey, small girl, you probably shouldn't be here. The woods are dangerous. What do you want? And the small girl's like, I want a flower for my mom. And she's like, oh, that's cute, but it's still dangerous. Let me go get it. And then you team up with her. You go into the forest and you try to help her find the flower. And of course, it goes off the rails because this is a video game and it's never as simple as you hope it is. So yeah, that's what I will be working on. Like this stream. It's never as simple as you think it is. Night and Starlight says Reggie is a mood.
Reggie is a mood. Also, Night is a mood.
Nice. You have delivered on the expectations. Good, because this is a game about mail delivery. So yay, totally in theme. Thank you for staying on brand, Cow.
That's what they pay me for.
Yeah, that's what they pay you.
I'm not normally good at my job.
Yeah. You're doing good with it now. So yeah. Oh, yeah, Night and Starlight sees it. The flower.
I saw it too.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Exactly what you think it is.
Okay, yes, the flower. Well, guess what? The flower lore has evolved. Cow, give me a drum roll. Wonderful. The world did not get destroyed when I picked up this flower.
Flower is sacred.
Yeah.
The flower. Trying to do like the claw thing.
Yeah.
Too many syllables.
It's okay. So now we can do the plot of Beauty and the Beast because it was like the reverse Beauty and the Beast thing. Well, I guess not reverse, but like instead of someone dying when you pick up the flower, everyone dies if you pick up the flower, but not anymore. Yeah. So real quick, I'm just going to explain in the simplest terms what was wrong with the flower, why it was doing stuff. It has been defeated. The flower is gone. Crab dance. So, long story short, every item that exists in the game can potentially be bought for money. The problem was, though, is that it was trying to display the cost of the flower when the flower no longer existed, and it didn't like that. So that's why I decided to destroy the world. I simply decided to... So my solution was, only display the money if you exist. If you don't exist, you don't cost anything. Simple, elegant. Easy to remember, hopefully. So, you've never been called a mood. What an honor. Yes.
You deserve it.
Yeah, so... The flower has been defeated, and I guess you could technically blame capitalism on it, since it was the cost.
I'm sorry. Are you thanking capitalism or
what?
Well, because you said the flower was defeated, so is that a good thing?
The flower was the flower was defeated because the flower was on the side of capitalism.
Oh.
That was what's happening. Because the flower was destroying the world on the off chance it cost money. That's what was going on.
You had me at, we're blaming capitalism. It is the problem.
Alright then. So yeah, that basically sets things up. So the flower lore has come to an end. For now, something else may happen, but for now we all good. So yeah. Now that the flower has been defeated, I could start placing the flowers across the flower forest here. The ones that you look for, it's like, is this the right flower? No, this isn't the right flower.
Psych! That's the wrong flower.
Oh. Yeah. Alrighty then.
Y'all are familiar with the Super Hot Fire video.
Yeah. I walk up like, I'm about to end this flower's whole career.
What career? I'll hype you up, Curtis. Don't worry.
Yeah, thank you. Alrighty then. So yeah, and I guess the final thing, of course, is the reason you'll have to go throughout the whole forest is because the actual flower you need is behind these vines, and the only way you can destroy these vines is by hitting...
TikTok.
What? Okay, it took me a moment there.
That was a bad joke.
Yes. The only way to destroy these vines is to shoot these little flower cores, or these little vine cores here, because if they get hit, the vines get destroyed, and you see what was once 3 layers of vines is now only 2 layers of vines. So then you snag the other ones, and then you can get to the final area where the big surprise pops up. So yeah. Alright, that is going to be explaining what we do, and now, with that being said, Cow, tell us your story.
Oh gosh.
Okay, let's start at the end.
Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a young prince lived in a shining castle. Just doing Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was spoiled, selfish, and unkind. Okay, I'll be serious for a moment.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll see.
So yeah, because again, we met book 4 project. She had been doing the voice of Toph, and like, I think we were definitely aware of each other's presence pretty much since I joined the project, and then it was more like, I guess like end of last year ish, where we interacted more.
Yeah, that's on you, buddy.
That's on
you reached out. You were like, hey, I have this thing. And I was like, thing? Say no more.
Yeah, so, as you said, before the voice work of the glorious metal bender Toph Bay Fong.
Was it really end of last year?
Maybe more like mid last year.
Because I feel like maybe it was early last year.
Maybe.
I mean,
actually,
no.
Sure, I remember
but...
it was summer of last year specifically because I remember I was doing stuff. Yeah, because I had the voice work recorded for the comics for a while. I still actually have 3 of them in the can that haven't been released yet, but I'll get around to them. What? What? You have a kazoo?
Always gotta keep that motherfucking thing.
Okay.
It's my instrument of choice.
Okay. You don't pull this out very often, though.
I mean, I have it on hand, but I feel like it's obnoxious, so I try to not overrun everyone with it at all. Uh-huh. It's always in my purse. I had it in Ohio. Like, I just want you to know.
Okay. Now that makes... I feel we got no kazoo screen time on the Ohio.
I mean, I take requests. If you have a song in kazoo format, I'll give it a go. I used to walk around my high school with like a little rinky-dink like plastic little kazoo around the holidays, and I would just take like caroling requests. I don't celebrate Christmas, but people enjoyed the antic.
Alrighty then. So if you did theater beforehand. So how?
Yes.
Actually, you know what? I said we'll start at the end, but no, let's go to the beginning. How did you start? When did you first do the acts?
Well, it all began in middle school. The year was, I want to say 2008. Long ago in the early 2000s. Okay, sorry. So I was in 6th grade, going into middle school. And choir and any of the like music, so orchestra, band, I think those were the options. Basically any of those like fine art ones other than art, they had a Christmas concert that was mandatory and a big chunk of the grade. I was not able to participate in such because I am Muslim and I don't celebrate Christmas. So that left the options on electives of like art, like language classes or theater. And my older brother had taken theater and he had a good time with it. And my mom always knew I was a little drama queen, so I went into theater and absolutely fell head over heels in love with it. It was like a light opened and wow, like this is it. This is amazing. Wow. Also, I had a glorious theater teacher. Her name was Vanessa Eichler. Shout out to Miss Eichler. You a real one. I still love you forever. Yay. She was great, and And yeah, I got a taste and couldn't get enough. And so I did plays every chance I got. I did, I don't even know how many plays I did in middle school. Uh, I did a one that's, you might know, it's called I Never Saw Another Butterfly, which is about the Holocaust. So that one was pretty heavy. Um, I was the lead in our Schoolhouse Rock musical. I mean, it was the only non-singing part, so I kind of
Wait,
snubbed that.
no, wait. Does that mean you didn't get to sing Conjunction Junction?
I did at home because I was already a massive, massive Schoolhouse Rock fan. Um, but that is the singing is a long story, so I'll skip over that for now. But yeah, I did a bunch of plays, and then actually for Schoolhouse Rock, it was my 8th grade year, and Holmes, which was my future high school, they had did this program where we could perform our musical, like we were middle school kids, but we could perform it on the high school stage.
Oh,
and
nice.
then they decided to do this thing where they were going to bus in like all of these elementary schools to come and watch the performance, which was like a crazy big deal. And we did a bunch of performances, and that was like, whoa, my gosh. And I remember it was like, I don't know, either tech. It was either like a tech rehearsal or almost leading up to like dress rehearsal, right? And I was still like fumbling with my lines because all the other ones were songs, so I had all of the speaking lines, and so I was kind of fumbling some of them, and I had never had such a big role before.
Sorry, speaking of fumbling, the copy and paste on my computer is also fumbling.
Can't believe you've done this. Stupid copy paste.
Sorry, I just have to
No,
notice
not you.
I just need
no,
to just
the
need
copy
to.
paste should apologize to you, sir.
Sorry, I'm just trying to copy this one thing and it doesn't seem to want to go. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, you're good. And I was fumbling with the lines, and classic ADHD, like wait till the last minute and the panic monkey will make me do my job. Well, one of the directors at the high school, who is Mr. Pat Lavani, also a legend, an institution. He's retired now, but God bless. And he, like very like tough grandpa vibes, right? Like he was very much like old-fashioned, like hard work, old-time respect, like did a lot of like manual labor type stuff. He helped a lot with the tech side of things, building sets and things. Legend of a man, right? He reeled me out, and he yelled at me, and he lectured me, and he was like, you are the main, you hold this whole show together. You are the lead of this show, and we are bringing people in to see this, and there's going to be tons of people in here, and if you don't get these lines down, like, what is the show? What is going to happen? And he gave me this whole big spiel. Of course I cried. I cry all the time. But then I went home and I studied my ass off, and the next day I didn't miss a single line. And as scary as it is to be yelled at, I'm also really grateful for him, because it wasn't from a place of malice or mean. Like, no, he just was like, this is a kid who is not getting their focus in gear, and I gotta get them on it, and I'm grateful that he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I did plays all through middle school, and then I got to high school, and because I had been doing so many plays in middle school, and the theater teacher in high school already knew me as Miss Bridges, Ann Bridges, also a legend, love her to death, and then Mr. Pat Lavani. Since I already knew them, and they already knew me for so many plays, I got to skip Theater 1. Most people start high school and you got to start at Theater 1, and then, Theater 2, Theater 3, Theater 4, if you keep doing theater. Most people just need their fine arts credit, so they take the one and then they move on. But people who that's their jam, like me, stick around. And so since I had already had all this experience, I was allowed to do Theater 2 as a freshman. So I was in class with a bunch of upperclassmen, including my brother, who was a senior and on the varsity basketball team. That's not relevant to the story, but I'm sticking there. So then I did more plays every chance I got. I was in Annie. I was a hobo in Hooverville. We'd like to thank you, Herbert Hoover. That whole bit.
And as you can see, nothing's changed. Sorry.
True, very true.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, I did Annie Get Your Gun. I did Murder to Death was really fun. I loved that one. It was originally supposed to do a different play, I think by Neil Gaiman, but I might be wrong. But it had a ton of profanity and swear words in it, like F-bombs all day long. And for our high school production, we were just going to omit a lot of those really intense profanity and swear words.
Don't tell me.
But then right up, like it was like we had already started rehearsing and things. The cast had already been made, like things were set in stone. Then we get a letter from Neil Gaiman's like publishing person saying, respectfully, you cannot perform this play if you do not perform this play exactly as the script is written.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay. So
we
you
will
got a
be
letter from the
suing
big
you.
people.
Yeah.
I thought the story was just gonna go. Oh, you were gonna say screw it and just say the swears anyways. But
No, we were gonna remove it.
Okay.
Like just cut out the swears or change them to less intense swears. But we got a letter from like the publisher, like whoever works for the writer guy, being like, no, you cannot do this if you do not perform this play to the letter as the script is written, and we send people to check these things out. Like, we will sue you. No. So then it's like, well, we're not going to have a bunch of F-bombs up in my Christian Minecraft server. So we switched plays, and we ended up doing a play called Murder to Death, which was kind of a parody of those old Miss Marple, like, mystery serials, where there's like that, kind of like a Agatha Christie whodunit type vibe. But it was also because it was kind of parodying those, like a lot of the characters were very like campy and almost like caricature archetypes. Like you had that one like dumb constable character, and then like the smart detective guy who has to like come in, or I think it was either the detective guy was dumb and it was like the constable having to like tell him what's going on. You have like the classic the butler, the this person, that person. So I played an old British lady, aka I was Miss Maple, which was a play on Miss Marple. And so she was this old British lady. Oh, very churlish of me.
I don't think I've heard British Cow yet.
Oh, have you not? Because I also in college did Agatha Christie's and Then There Were None, where I was also, and this time it was a very like self-righteous old lady. Like she was very much like the word of the Lord and all of you guys are sinners and you're going to hell.
Well, see, I think I've heard, so like if I've heard you do British, it's more like a royal British, like royalty queen sort of thing, and not this like not like the commoners British.
Gosh, I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't say my British accent is perfect by any means, and I think if I have a role, like I'm used to theater, whereas you get a script and you memorize that script, and then once you've memorized, you have room to play around with delivery, and then there's also the blocking, and like there's physicality involved, and you get time of rehearsal. Versus when it's in voice acting, very often you don't have a lot of heads up on the script. You just kind of, all right, here's the script. We'll read it a few times, and then we're gonna jump in and do a few takes, and then we're gonna move on. Also, you don't have the lines memorized, so you're reading them, which adds a different element to it. Also, like, while I do think physicality should still be included to some degree, it's not on the same scale as doing, like, a live-action production of something where you're on a stage and your movement is part of the performance.
Yeah, because when you do that, you have to, like... there's no, especially because in theater there's no second take really, there's no fix it in post, it's just whatever you happen to do.
Exactly. And so you rehearse your butt off and you try a million things, but then when the show is on, like the show must go on, like it's happening, and they say, you know, leave it all out on the stage. Whatever happens. If there's a mistake, you fake it till you make it, because the audience doesn't know there's a mistake unless you let them know there's one, and you just keep going. But there's also this beautiful magic in live performance. There's nothing like it. Like, I think people who don't go to plays or live musical performances or musicals or any of that really, truly, like, make it a point, even just once. Because live performance is a completely different experience versus watching something on a screen.
I think probably the best theater performance I've seen, or the one that I remember the most, is when our high school did an Addams Family play, especially because I remember the jokes being a little risky. I was like, wow, they actually let high school kids say these jokes.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, that reminds me. So one time we did this play in high school. What was the name of it? It was basically about, it's like an old-timey like melodrama, you know, where there's like that one villain with like the twirly mustache and like the, oh my god, the damsel, and she's like tied to the railroad tracks, and there's like the cowboy hero, and right. So this like snake oil salesman is the bad guy. Well, our cowboy hero was this like big like football playing Texan guy named Luke, right? But he kept ad-libbing during the performances. And some of them were funny, but it's also like, dude, you need to do it as we planned. Like, you can't just keep, because some of them were out of line.
Yeah.
And I just remember this one thing where he's supposed to go, like, he's talking about like the damsel, and he makes like this little like hourglass motion with his hands, right? About like, oh wow, she's so lovely. But Luke, he does like a million freaking like bumps. I was like, is this girl the Michelin Man? Like, what's happening here? He killed me. He just kept going.
Dang.
Oh man. Also in high school we had this cool tradition. It actually started the year I was a freshman, though I wasn't in that production. I used to go into the advanced theater class during my lunch period as a freshman and like just hang out with the juniors and seniors, you know. But they did this thing where for our winter performance, the class, like the advanced theater class, would kind of collaboratively write a play together and then perform it. Basically, what it really amounted to was all of us kind of gathered around, spitballing these other ideas, and then our theater teacher writing stuff down and kind of helping weave it together. Which, once again, shout out to Ann Bridges, a legend. So they did that for freshman year. I wasn't in it because I wasn't in advanced class. And then my sophomore year, they did this weird play that I also wasn't in, called My Three Angels, which was like about these like convicts and Christmas, and I don't remember. But junior and senior year, I was in the written plays, and I was also in the class. We wrote them together and then performed them. So my junior year, it was this one. I forget the name of it, but basically it was Santa Claus in a nursing home. And but he's like retired, right, because he's in this nursing home. And then there's this one Muslim nurse who is like the only one that he like talks to about his like scheme. So he's basically trying to make like everyone else in the nursing home and the other characters like their Christmas wishes come true. But because he's retired, he needs the help of this like third party nurse, which was me. So it was really cute and wholesome, not gonna lie. And then my senior year we did one which was I think it was green, red and green is the new black or something, was it? It was something with like a prison setting. Basically, one of Santa's elves gets like sent to prison. And so there's like all the other convicts and then like this little cheerful little elf guy. And I played a nun in that one. I played a shocking amount of nuns. In my career.
As I say, there's no particular reason for that, is it?
Oh, gosh,
Certainly
no.
not.
I think I'm just easy to costume.
You just use the costume.
Oh man.
Yeah.
One of the nuns, which I actually really enjoyed this role, was actually the last play that I did in college. It was right before COVID hit. It was actually like right as COVID hit. It was spring of 2020. Oh gosh. But we were doing Shakespeare's A Comedy of Errors. And so I played if you don't know, basically about like there's these two sets of twins. One of them is like a set of like servants, and the other one is like a set of like the nobleman family, whatever, like nobility. And so there's these two sets of twins, but the mom of the servants twins, like that family like dies, and so they're like left in the care of the nobility. But something tragic happens and they get separated. One half of each set gets like separated together, so you have like one noble and their servant, like attendant, and then another noble and their servant, but then they bump into each other and it's like, oh, this person's wife thinks you're their husband, but it's a whole bunch of like mistaken identity and, you know, shenanigans and hijinks and like, oh my god, you're my husband, and it's like, no, I'm married to someone else, leave me alone. And like a lot of fun nonsense. But the grand reveal was that the head abbess of the nunnery where like some of them are hiding out in turns out to be the mom of the nobleman twins. And so there's like really cute grand reunion at the end where it's like, oh, that was me all those years ago. And that was a good laugh. I enjoyed
We're
that.
family. Woo.
Also because I didn't show up till near the end of the play. And so there was this really big, tall, like, rolling. Basically, it was this really big, tall structure, like a big loft building looking thing. on wheels, so they would turn it around for different parts of the set. And I just stayed up top. There's like a ladder on the inside, and there was like this platform. And I just had to stay laying down so that no one could see me over the top. But I just stayed up there for like the whole play until it was my time. And so like there was just a whole bunch of me just listening to the play up there, minding my own business. And then it's time for my line, and I just stand up and lean over the edge of the balcony. Good times, good times.
So yeah, and so since middle school, like that's gonna be like, and you said college, so like how many years of theater does that make by the end?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to do like, I was 11 going into middle school, so like 15 years, 16 years now.
Ooh.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Is that half your life at this point?
How dare you, first of all? Curtis, I'm like a year older than you, but yes, basically.
Yeah, that's how I knew it was at least half your life.
You want to round up, I guess.
Yeah. At least.
Yeah, it's more than half my life, honestly. Because if I started at 11, and then you want to double 11, that's 22. And I am older than that, so... So yeah, crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah, so you started young, and you've been sticking with it ever since.
Yeah, actually, if you don't mind, could I read something about that?
Sure.
If that's allowed. I wrote this thing that was, I wrote it for school one time, but it was basically talking about... No, not that one. No, not that one either.
May I inquire as to the length of the thing?
It's not long.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I didn't get in a spot.
No, that's valid.
Okay. Also, I did a smart thing, and I decided to use my mighty developer powers to make a button that teleports me directly to the place I want to be instead of a place that teleports me a little bit closer to where I wanted to be and still requires me to make a walk.
Okay, so this is something I wrote for school forever ago. I don't know. I guess I entitled it My Story. It basically talks about how my love of reading turned into a love of writing, which turned into a love of theater. Like, it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna read that, and we're gonna have fun.
All right.
From as far back as I can remember, I've always loved to read. Just the thought of escaping the mundane world for a realm of wonder and infinite possibility left me giddy with anticipation. With the mere turn of a page, I could soar across time, encounter magic and mystery, danger and intrigue, love and sorrow. Perhaps the life I led was ordinary, but with a book in hand, I could create my own kind of magic. Stories held power. With such an insatiable affinity for reading, one would think writing would come naturally. Unfortunately, this was not so. If writing a narrative was Christmas Day, then I was Ebenezer Scrooge. It was 4th grade, and they insisted we write nothing but personal narrative. I was young, and nothing in my short, painfully domestic life had left any potential to spark my creative spirit. After all, writing is a form of creative expression, and being the stubborn child that I was, I couldn't fathom a reason to try if there was no creative fun to be had. And so, I struggled along, writing choppy, boring paragraphs of little to no substance, until one fateful day that would change my outlook forever. A teacher sat down with me, asking why I struggled so with a rather basic concept, and I explained how bored I was with the tedium of personal narrative. She then told me the best advice I could have received. No one would know whether my stories were true or not. Suddenly, the gates of possibility were thrust open, and writing quickly became one of my greatest passions. To have the ability to create my very own story, filled with wonder and majesty of my choosing, it was a dream come true. I had gained another joy, and with practice, my skill grew, reflecting on my grades. Sufficiently occupied with training my mind in the ways of reading and writing on increasingly higher, I hadn't realized my creative trinity was missing a crucial member. It wasn't until I discovered theater that my world was truly complete. It took my love of stories and passion for creativity and melded them into a glorious manifestation of both. To act was to embody a tale in the very essence of your spirit. One taste was all it took to leave me starstruck and yearning for more. These passions taught me, when fueled by genuine gusto, all things are possible. Trying is half the battle. The incentive of a heartfelt goal creates the necessary gusto to accomplish anything. For instance, I needed good grades to participate in plays, and thus I worked harder. Everything was a means to an end. I would never stop fighting for the right to create my own kind of magic. That's the end. That got a little weird, sorry.
What do you mean it got a little weird?
I don't know.
I'm also just thinking, it's like, so anyways, I started lying. You know, like a liar.
Like, exactly. No, I think there's something, it's probably neurodivergent related, to be honest. But kind of like the whole all or nothing mentality that plagues ADHD. And myself, I am personally a victim of that. So I think for me it was like, it was giving me the opportunity to fudge the details. Because for me it was like, if this isn't like exactly, literally how it actually transpired, then I'm a monster and I'm doing it wrong. And also this is no fun, it's so rigid and boring and terrible. But then that teacher was like, dude, who cares if it's true, as long as it's, you know, nothing magical, crazy is going on. Just write a fun story, and like it doesn't have to be exactly, you know, it's not like a court document. It's exactly how the events transpired. Have fun with it. And that was kind of like the permission I needed.
Yay.
Yeah,
I was about to say, yeah, that's a interesting way to go. The fact where it's just like you just have nothing to reference, so you just want to do something else.
Yeah. I don't know. They were always like, oh, write about what you did over summer break, or write about a time XYZ. And none of the prompts had any, either like I couldn't think of a damn thing that fit that, or nothing was like exciting about it. Like it's like, okay, I went to the mailbox and like the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was no fun.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, Nine Starlight is apparently envious, talking about there's apparently many bullies in the theater. The theater said basically they should sit out and the play that year. So yeah, that was it. I was just looking through
What
here.
the hell?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Whom's the fuck? What? Like, bad enough, because, I mean, there are assholes in every, like, sphere. There are assholes in sports, there are assholes in art, there are assholes everywhere, right? So I know that there are assholes in theater, and showboaters, and, you know, narcissists, and egomaniacs, and just jerks, right? They're a bad apple in every bunch. But, like, for the teacher themselves, like, I'm sorry, teachers, I have such a respect for the field, and just teachers in general. They are the backbone of a society. But, like, you have a responsibility as a teacher. Like, not only as the adult in the situation, but as the teacher. Oh, that makes me very angry that you're treated that way.
Dang.
That's just purely unacceptable. Like, I'm sorry? What? Oh, that's deeply upsetting. And
Really,
even if, like,
really
even if somebody doesn't necessarily have, like, an innate aptitude towards something, or a lot of, you know, oh, this is the most amazing, you know, they aren't some amazing actor right off the jump. Everyone starts somewhere, and everyone can build a skill. And even if they're not great, it's not a reason not to do something. And so I cannot fathom a single valid explanation for why that teacher said that to you. Ooh, my blood is boiling. That is infuriating. And I'm so sorry you were treated that way, and you absolutely do not deserve that. Nobody deserves that, and fuck that teacher.
I also have very strong opinions about the public school system and the treatment of special ed. Ooh, that would be it. That could be a whole topic for another day. But ooh, yeah, it's rough. not for like I wasn't in that, but like I saw. I was gonna say the fruits of the labor. What's the like a fruit is normally a good thing. Would be it's the bad creations, whatever you'd say it.
The weeds of your labor.
The weeds of the labor. Yes, exactly. I saw the weeds of those labors. They were not very pretty.
God,
I think it's interesting because aside from
very much you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Oh.
because just the one thing I will say is basically there was a mistreatment of special ed kids in earlier grades that became bigger problems in later grades, and part of me was just saying, well, if you had done something about this sooner, you wouldn't have this problem now. But oh well. I hope at least hopefully now in Starlight we provide much better company, and you will not have to deal with situations such as those nearly as much.
Also, don't feel too bad about not properly graduating. I was like in advanced classes and considered to be, oh, you're so smart and this and this and that. And then my senior year, my mental health imploded because nobody was addressing my ADHD, even though I had asked people for help. And then I imploded, and my senior year was a shit show. And I, who was supposed to be this super smart advanced courses kid who could go to any college they wanted, was not going to graduate. I did my speech credit in a 3-hour crash course the day before graduation. I did my last science credit online in like this stupid online PowerPoint class. I very likely almost graduate myself. So it happens to the best of us. The system is broken, and that's not anyone's fault, least of all yours. It is someone's fault. It's not yours, though. It's the system. It's systemic.
Yeah, so that's how it goes. So yeah, you pride yourself. The two things you pride yourself on are the three things you pride yourself on are acting, writing, and the ability to create tomfoolery out of nothing.
Weird to have that like listed as a skill. I think it's just my personality.
It is a skill. Well, I mean, especially in this day and age, like if you get your tomfoolery in the right place, you can make a buck. Have you seen
thank you.
some streamers?
Thank you. I'm gonna take that as a compliment, and that you're saying I am hilarious and a gem on this earth, and I'm gonna agree with you.
Yes, exactly.
No, damn it! You're supposed to argue against that. I played myself.
You're telling me that I said something and you interpreted it exactly as I intended?
Oh,
no misunderstanding?
No, that's the thing I'm sensitive about.
Oh dear. Oh well.
The John Mulaney reference.
Oh shit. Yeah. Chaos is absolutely yes, especially. That's what you know what you're missing.
Sword.
You know what you're missing, Cal. You know what you're missing. You're just missing a manager. Just so like you're like a
Are you applying?
You're a loose I don't want to say I'm just gonna say you're quote unquote a loose cannon. All you need is you just need someone that's gonna like
to aim me.
To aim you, yes.
You're probably right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I definitely am always on board to get you down into some streaming thing, whether it is this or it is something on book 4 or otherwise, because it is
like honestly, I think about some of my like really close friendships.
Mm-hmm.
My ex BFF Lucia, they're very type A, which I think is exactly why I gravitate. I need someone to rein me in.
Yeah. For clarification, that's a comma. There was a comma between those two, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No. My ex BFF is named Allie, and Lucia is the current. So.
Lucia is named Lucia.
Yeah, actually.
That's how it goes. I think it's interesting that you mention it because I don't particularly. I mean, I do some sort of writing stuff, and I do narrative stuff. It's not like the thing that I'll whip out is like, yes, this is the thing you should get for me. But I definitely remember the thing that got me into like creative things, or one of the things that got me was a school experience. Whereas I find out that if you just give me a blank canvas to do whatever I want, I cannot do absolutely anything, and I can barely also work within the bounds of a prompt. But give me a goal, give me like, say, okay, here's how I want this to do. I can do it, because I much prefer doing writing as a problem solving thing. It's like, okay, the problem is we need this sort of thing created, and I can solve problems. So
That's so interesting. Because I think sometimes when things are structured as a goal, like for example, I'm thinking in terms of like school assignments. Like, hey, I need to write an essay about this. And so the goal is to write this essay. And then I get caught up in like the overwhelmingness of like, I don't know, the sense of like expectation and I need to do this thing. And then it like cripples me and I am like dead before I start. Versus also like if it's just a blank like, oh, write, and it's like, ah, about what, just give me something to but if I have a tiny prompt or something to springboard off of while still maintaining wiggle room to kind of follow where those like flows of inspiration lead, is where I find like I thrive the best. Yeah, interesting how there's like a difference in what kind of catalysts we thrive with.
Yeah. Well, well, even just like that, like the prompt also helps, but also uh, there has to be some sort of purpose behind it. Like in school at work, because like, oh, the purpose is I've got a prompt, and the purpose is I need a good grade. Which is why I very much feel at home with the book 4 stuff, because like I have gotten way more stuff done with book 4 than I did previously, just for the sheer fact of like, there's a purpose to it. We have, we are adapting this one comic. We do it, and then also it also helps that I'm not the only one working on it as well.
Right, it's a collaborative thing.
Yeah, so there's
Knight,
other people.
Knight says, Lucia is also a bit chaotic. You are absolutely correct, Knight. Mm-hmm. In fact, we always would joke that I am like Lucia from an alternate timeline, or like Lucia Jr. or something. But you also haven't seen Lucia when she is in business mode, because she, like the switch flips, and she is like...
Yeah.
Organized, get things done, bam, 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 what's the deal with this? Like, she is very orderly and, like, commands respect and, like, shit gets done.
Yeah.
But yeah, when she's goofing, my girl can goof, and I love her for it.
I do have also some brand of chaos to myself. It's a bit more of a quiet chaos.
Definitely.
And the other thing is also, I change sometimes. Where, so for example, if I'm in a thing with you or Lucia, I tend to be the straight man in the dynamic. And then when no one else is chaos, I will do my best. I've done chaos before whenever I've done work at my job. Like sometimes like, because with some of the kids I work with, they're chaotic, so sometimes you need to match their chaotic energy to like catch them off guard. I think the best example I've had from recently...
Is that the tactic you use with me?
Not quite, because I feel... Well, see, I don't need to... I can just let the chaos happen. One, because you're an adult and you have at least some semblance of self-awareness. And I'm also not paid to teach you something. So, like, I can let you go off on whatever you do, and I still have a job at the end of the day. Or at least, sorry, let me rephrase that. I would probably have a job regardless, but I wouldn't feel good about myself if I didn't do it. Yeah. It's more like it. So, like, for example, when the kids start singing Baby Shark, do, baby, as children do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they're doing it, and I'm like, I need to center these kids back on topic. So I pull up the official Baby Shark lyrics, I do a quick Control F, I was like, okay, pop quiz hotshots, can you tell me how many times the word do is in the song Baby Shark? And then suddenly they recenter.
That's so valid. That would have gotten me as a kid, too, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. By the way, do you know how many do's are in Baby Shark?
We've had this conversation before, and I know you have the answer
ready.
But my head is a sieve. My brain is driven by a bowl of soup, so no.
Okay, guess. Just give me one guess, and I'll tell you.
16.
16. What? There's like 16 in a singular verse.
Oh, you mean each?
In the total song, in the total official Baby Shark song, how many times is the word do said?
Oh, 144.
144. You're closer than the other kid's first guess. It is 312.
Yikes.
And that's just trivia I have locked in my brain for the rest of my life.
I have things like that. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
of one right now. But
I think
yeah,
that's one
like,
of the
they
reasons.
come out.
I think that's one of the reasons I definitely vibe with you also, because you're one of the few people I know that has as long term of the reference repository, and sometimes we even go to the same one.
It's true. We do just be like, reference. Oh, okay, I'm gonna reply to your reference
Yeah,
with
like
this.
again, like you said, oh yeah, the trumpet guy from Shrek 2, and I knew exactly what you were talking about, despite the fact that I have not seen that film in at least 7 years.
That's enough, Reggie.
Sometimes I forget you're a teacher. I mean, well, technically I'm a tutor. That is my official position. So, but yes, I work in education. Yes, so
Believe it or not, while I don't have like an official position, I am very good with
yeah.
because I am one.
Because you got you know, to defeat your enemy, you must know your enemy.
They're not my enemy. I love kids.
Not just their strategies or their tactics, but their memes, their art.
Curtis, my brother's trying to give you a puppy, but you don't live in San Antonio.
What do you mean he's trying to give me a puppy?
He literally asked. He's like, "Do any of them need puppies?"
Oh, well, the kid. Well, see, it's a problem. Here's the problem, because we're already separated by several United States. You know, you and me, but also all of my clients are online. All the students. So that's 2 degrees of separation.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon would be impressed.
Janitor.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, the relation to famous people. I've mentioned before. I hate to say, because I'm from Indiana, and on the one hand, I'm expecting people, if I were to ever get famous, people are going to ask, "Oh, hey, do you know John Green?" It's like, why do you assume that just because he's the only other famous person from Indiana? But yes, I have met him in person.
He's great.
Yeah, with all the stuff that he does. I've mentioned, I don't remember if you were there in stream, but no, I have, John Green's, one of his kids was one of my students at one point.
I remember you said that, like, what a flex.
Yeah, and I mentioned before, I still got that blackmail on John Green if I need to use it.
I low-key hope he stitches one of these, like one of your streams where you mentioned that.
Give it time. I'm gonna talk it up like I have some big thing, and it's nothing, but it's enough to make a joke out of and act like it's serious. It's really not nothing, and at all. And see, it's you know, there's the counter joke of like, wow, I can't believe you didn't even go after me. You went for my son. You went for my family. I can't believe you. Yes. Anyway, I will review that at some point. I have quote unquote blackmail. I've mentioned before, I have blackmail on YouCow.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not surprised. Everything I do is cringy.
Yeah, but I've got it's just a specific one where it's just like this is the one where you're gonna be like, oh, this is the one that I regret.
I mean, bold of you to assume I don't regret all of it.
But
I live in a constant.
There's a difference between regretting something in general versus regretting a very specific moment for its very, very specific consequences.
Oh no, I'm very deeply afraid. Is it from like Trixie recording?
What? No.
Is it buried in there?
No, I've told you before. My only hint is that it is in a publicly accessible place.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot of bad shit on my Facebook. Like, I've had that Facebook since I was 11. So, like, I'm sure...
Oh, maybe I should check that for more ammo.
Oh, no. What have I done?
Oh, dear. You are the
I mean, like, there aren't war crimes hidden away in my 11-year-old Facebook, but, yeah, my behavior was not socially acceptable at all times.
Yeah, I mean, you won't find the same. I wasn't on social media until I think I was like 15, and by then I was very much like, anything I put here will be seen by everyone forever.
I lost my original Twitter account because I created it before I was, I think 14 is the age or whatever.
Oh, was that what it was?
I created it before I was supposed to have one, but I lied about my age.
Okay.
And then at one time when I was like 20 something, And I was like, oh, weird. Why does it have the wrong birth year? How bizarre. Let me just correct that. What a typo.
It didn't
And then
like
it was
that.
like, are you sure? And I was like, why wouldn't I be sure? And I saved it. And then it was like, psych, you made this account when you weren't allowed to. It's gone forever. And I tried to like appeal it and talk to them because clearly I'm currently an adult now.
Okay.
But yeah, like I sent them pictures of my ID that they requested, and I never heard back. So
dang.
R.I.P. The
I was
original.
wondering the lore about that because that is your pinned tweet.
It is, and I'm still sad about it because like literally so many like thought dumps that were in there. Like in my head, it's writing, right? Like it's essentially writing in the form of a thread, and I would love to be able to go back and reference that. Also, there was memes and friends that were on that account that I don't know what their ad is or how to reach them, or like old DM messages with memories and shit in them. Like, man,
yeah,
I'm still sad.
The memories you definitely want.
Especially because I have like a space case brain and I remember nothing. So when I can go back and look at old shit, I'm like, oh yeah, that thing happened. That's great. But now I know nothing. My head is empty. No thoughts.
Oh, that's sad. Right. Oh, Nine Starlight. This account is actually super old. It was just lost for a long time until 3 years ago when my hard drive melted. Oh, okay. So now it's your main. I was about to say not the YouTube that I'm currently streaming from, but the one that I primarily link to things is my primary YouTube that I've had since I think was like 14 or so. I created during the era of the Minecraft YouTuber era. My first video I ever liked was a Minecraft Cops and Robbers video by a guy who was unfortunately been canceled, but oh well.
Wow, Ryoma, you're the one who told me that, and now you're gonna backtrack? Ryoma was like, returns? I'm an adult. I was unaware. Ryoma, you're the one who told me.
Quick aside story before we move on. That's by far my favorite memory of growing up was the first, like, I believe Thanksgiving dinner I had with the family after I had turned 18 because again my birthday is actually it's next week, so it's in the early fall, and so then Thanksgiving is like a couple months after. So what happened is that I realized for the first time that I was 18 at this particular family gathering. So I went up to like the dessert table. I got myself a plate, and rather than getting like any of the desserts, like the pumpkin pie or something, I just took the whipped cream meant for the pie, just put a whole plate of whipped cream on it, got myself a spoon, sat down at the table with all the other, older family members, and just proudly proclaimed, "I'm an adult. There is nothing you can do now."
Man after my own heart. For the whipped cream, not for the proclaiming.
Not for the proclaiming. Well, I for one feel like this might be a hot take in certain things, but I for one think that being adult is where was I going with this?
I don't know. I can't explain why I was not on board with proclamation. I think it's just cultural differences.
Yeah. Well, okay, so, see, I was using it as a means of, like, you cannot touch me now sort of thing. You can't say
right,
no,
and that's the part that I'm like,
Yeah. See, I didn't do it in terms of, like it's something major. I just said, oh, I just got a single plate of whipped cream, and it's just to eat. Like, that was all. That's the limits of my rebellion.
No, I'm not faulting you for that. I used to do that at Golden Corral all the time. Like, they had these little, like, tubs where they would put with the Cool Whip in them, and I would just get scoops of that shit on my plate. Hell yeah, brother. My thing is, so I grew up in a culture where it's like 18 does not denote you are an adult. In fact,
okay, that's what you mean.
You kind of become an adult when you hit puberty, and like there's phases to it, but like 18 is a meaningless number and has no bearing on anything. And even as an adult, you still need to obey your parents and have respect for elders. Like there's no oh, we are now suddenly on equal footing. There is a oh, there should be some mutual respect because we are adults, but there's also definitely like a hierarchy in terms of elders and the number of or the age of 18, like it's meaningless. It has zero weight in my household.
Definitely understandable. It has its reasons.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would have definitely done the same thing with the whipped cream plate. it's a different, like 18 doesn't mean the same thing in different places.
Yeah. Ryoma faults me for it. Alrighty then. All right.
Can I tell you a story about whipped cream?
Oh yes, yes.
So in in college, when we'd go out to eat, my friends would always like make fun of me, and I didn't realize what a big habit I have, but it's pretty tried and true. If I go out to eat at a place, it's almost guaranteed I'm leaving with a to-go box.
Well, why
and
wouldn't
so my
you?
friends were, yeah, like it's just a given. Everyone's always like, "What? You didn't finish?" Or I'd have a small, even if it's just a little bit left. Like, I'm gonna take it. I paid for this food. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But my oftentimes I wasn't eating much of my food at the place, and I'd take it home and then I'd eat it later. Yada yada. So it was like this running joke of like, oh, Kauthar and her 15, to-go bags and like all this stuff, right?
Your 15 to-go bags.
That's too many, but anyway, hyperbole for joke. But one time we were at an IHOP, and I am a whipped cream fiend. Like, I put some respect on the whipped cream game, because, like, yes. So we were at IHOP, and I don't know if I had pancakes or what, right? But I asked for extra whipped cream. And so our waiter was super cool. He came by and did it again, and then, because a lot of the times they'll just, like, bring you this little dish with, like, a little squirt of it. I'm like, no, just leave the can. But no, so he came a few times and, like, added more whipped cream, right? And then he saw that I keep wanting more, and so he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave this canister here on the table, and he did. And then I asked for a to-go box, and this man brought me. He's like, do you want another to-go box of just whipped cream?
Wait,
and I was
actually,
like, yes.
I was about to joke about
and
it.
And also marry me. And so he did. He brought me a to-go box for my food, and then one completely full of just whipped cream. God bless this man. He understood the assignment. I hope he's living his best life.
Oh boy! Sometimes
Night cheesecake is also in the game. I fucks with cheesecake heavy. There is never a time in my life where someone's gonna be like, "Do you want cheesecake?" and I'm gonna say no. I am always in the mood for cheesecake. And after this stream, I have a cheesecake ice cream thing from Sonic I got last night that I will be eating. And I put whipped cream on top because those bastards at Sonic didn't give us.
Wait, I was like, so he did? You're married now?
I wish, Rio. I wish.
Oh. Hang in there. Hang in there. Just keep existing. It'll happen, I believe. All right, so.
I was about to start singing the When You Believe from Prince of Egypt. Oh, man.
And miracles. Excuse me.
There can be miracles when you believe, though hope is frail, hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, somehow you will when you believe.
Ooh. Sing it.
I'm so stuffy. It wasn't that good. Thank you.
I mean,
I had to get it the earworm out of my.
You just have to embrace the earworms.
You just gotta.
That's how it happens. Alrighty, so that pretty much covers then all the acting backstory.
Yeah, I got lost in the sauce a bit there. So started in middle school, did as many places I could, in class stuff and then production stuff. Oh, that reminds me. There was this one where it was like a hodgepodge of different, my brain is blanking, like different little scenes and skits and stuff, right? One of which, it's this person, like having like a laughing, like they start the monologue and then by the end of it, they are just riotously laughing and are not stopping. And I did this no issue. It came back to haunt me later because there was this one scene. So coincidentally, after my sophomore year in high school, my theater teacher from middle school ended up being hired as a theater teacher at my high school, so I got to work with her again. Shout out to Vanessa Eichler. She's a real one. I love her to death. But there was a scene where I needed to, like, laugh riotously. It was like, ah! Oh, you're serious moment, right? But I was, like, too in my own head and psyching myself out, and I was having the hardest time doing it. And she's like, where is the girl who laughed maniacally for like 3 minutes straight on stage every night with zero issue or rehearsal. Like, where is she? And I was like, I don't know.
She's on vacation.
But anyway, back to the middle school thing. And then I also wrote a monologue for it. And it was supposed to be like, oh, sorry to interrupt your messages. We have a PSA. And it was this monologue about my little brother. And I wrote it about like, oh, what a menace this person is, right? Like, oh, did you know he also did this thing and this thing? Like I took a story that my mom used to tell me about her little sister eating her lipstick, but I made it about my little brother. And I also incorporated some of my own anecdotes, right? And said like this big story about like, oh my God, be on the lookout, he's wanted, he's vicious, right?
Calling all cars.
Right. And then we didn't have colored printers because, budget cuts, right? But I printed out a picture of his face and then I colored it in with crayon to try and make it like in color.
What?
And then at the end of the like monologue, I was like, so be aware, this is what he looks like. Keep an eye out. He's dangerous. And then I would be like, oh my God, he's right there. And I would point into the audience. Well, my little brother was in attendance that night with my mom, right? And I didn't have my glasses on, and the stage lights are in my eyes, so I had no like idea where they were, where anyone was. I could not see past the stage, right? It's just darkness and blurry and yada yada. Mm-hmm. But my mom swears that I pointed directly at him, and the whole audience turned and like audibly gasped, and then immediately broke out laughing. And she's like, I don't know how you did it, but you did it.
Sometimes just like God goes, you know what? I'm gonna let you do this because it's funny.
And that's what we call theater magic. Another story which kind of feeds back into the voice acting thing. So I've always been a giant weeb. Grew up watching cartoons, grew up watching anime my whole life. Always had a big respect for voice actors. Like, we always would do the game of like, oh, that's so-and-so from this show, and like spotting voice actors in various things, yada yada. Mm-hmm. But I considered it as kind of like this faraway dream. And then in middle school, we did this thing called Shakespeare Speaks, which was a collection of various Shakespearean monologues. And, people would just go up and do one, and it was like a bunch of different stuck together. And my English teacher, Miss Hawsey, shout out to Miss Hawsey, she was a real one. She looked like Brooke Shields. She was amazing. She showed up to the show, and I think this might have been like the year after I had her. Like, she wasn't still my teacher. I might be wrong though. Anyway, she came to the show, and in the monologue I performed was one from Midsummer Night's Dream. And I got real emotional, into it, and like, cause they're like in the woods and they're drugged and they're like all like sobbing and upset about shit. Midsummer Night's Dream, right? So I did the monologue, and then after the performance, the audience were talking with people, yada yada. And I talked to Miss Hawsey, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Miss Hawsey, thank you so much for coming. Like, thank you for being here. Wow, you came to support us. And she tells me, she was like, I'm so glad I did. Thank you for inviting me. She's like, your voice. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, I had no idea you could do that with your voice. I was so worried for you. Your tears sounded so real. Wow, like, I had no idea you were talented like this. And I was like punched in the gut with like, oh my God, feels.
You like me. You really, really like me.
Literally. And that was kind of like the first solid, like, I don't know, boon towards like, well, maybe there is an avenue of voice acting like in the future for me. Maybe I do have a knack for something and it's not entirely a pipe dream. Like, maybe there is something I could work towards. Also, I think in middle school, I remember one time I was in science class and we were like doing some sort of like study prep thing and like reading different problems from this test and like going over the answers. And so they like, people would raise their hand like, oh, to read the next one or whatever. So I raised my hand, and then somebody else raised their hand. And then it was like, oh, who's gonna do it? So I just sat down. They're like, no, never mind, you do it. And I was like, oh, okay. All of a sudden on the spot, after some bickering, I guess I'll do it. So I was kind of frustrated, and I just picked up and like went into autopilot. I was like, I'm just gonna read this. But everyone was like, whoa, you sounded like, oh, what was that? Like, it's so weird. I don't know if they thought I sounded like a robot or a computer, but they're like, that sounded like a commercial. Whoa. And I was like, I was just grumpy, and so I was like reading it as like monotonous. Oh man. But yeah, good stuff, good times.
You got
and
your
so,
positive feedback, and you're like,
yeah, it was crazy
I can
stuff.
do more now. And now we shower you with positive feedback because dang
Oh
it, you need
gosh.
it, girl.
I'm gonna cry.
Do it.
Ah,
Get it all out. Come to terms with the reality that you're actually good at things.
how dare you, sir?
Quite easily.
So middle school is also coincidentally where I got my first directing experience from. My 8th grade year, my sorry, let me get some water.
Oh, yes.
My
I should have
theater
checked to make
teacher-
sure you had an hydration of choice before we even started.
No, I do. I just finished the last one, so I'm opening. So, my theater teacher had pulled a few of us from the advanced class aside, and it was a set of 4 of us, which coincidentally, we were all friends. We were all really good friends, and we had worked on things, just the 4 of us, a lot, because we were like her top theater girls. For example, we did that play I mentioned, I Never Saw Another Butterfly, which is about the Holocaust. The name of the play is actually also the name of a poem about the Holocaust, which I can recite at the drop of a hat. That is the one thing that someone would be like, oh, perform something, and that's always in the back of my brain. But for that one, it was for UIL, which is contest. There's a lot of rules and regulations, and then it's statewide thing and contest, and there's medals involved, yada yada. So for that one, she had cast 2 casts, most of which were the same, but there was the A cast and the B cast, so to speak. So I was in the B cast, but my friend Carly, and I'm sorry to put this on live media, maybe I'll use fake names. Yeah. My friend Schmarley.
What? It doesn't work that way.
Who was in the A cast with my dear friend Blulia. And they were amazing, don't get me wrong, but my friend Schmarley said that she thought I belonged in the A cast because my performance was more emotional than Blulia's. And I loved Blulia, but also that made me feel really good. Thank you, Schmarley, for saying that. Also, shout out to Glydia. She was also great. Sure. She was in my cast. Shout out to the girlies. Anyway, those same 4 of us, we did directing. So it was 2 directors to a play, and so I was on the same team, so to speak, as Schmarley. These are fake names. And then Glydia and Blulia were on their own play, and then they ran back to back, and we did a performance. That was really cool. That was the one I referenced in chat the other day. That was a newscaster thing. My play was this is and today's news, and so there was a bunch of different segments and funny gags and moving set pieces really fast, and it's and now the weather and back to sports, and it was really fun.
And now for
goofy.
something completely different.
Exactly. So that was really fun, and it was cool to kind of build a whole play yourself. We had the script, but the costumes, the set pieces, working within our limited resources and budget, giving direction, giving blocking, what movement did we want, all of that stuff. It was really crazy to kind of be on the other end of that. I'm really grateful for that learning experience. So yeah, high school came around.
Yeah, because now you just started doing directing stuff for other projects. If I did. I still don't feel qualified, but here we are. So I the great and powerful Ryoma Ishizuka, who is co-showrunner of our Avatar: The Last Airbender for Air Restoration project. He also is doing a project with the amazing Luca Nando, where we're dubbing the TMNT IDW run of comics. So those are going to be really awesome. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Turtles counted off. 1, 2, 3, 4 turtles. There's no one better. Turtles. Watch out for Shredder. Sorry, I'm gonna rein it in. Look, so long as we don't get copyright ID'd, I'm perfectly fine.
I will sing the whole 2003 opening and also the update in 2005. I will do it. Don't threaten me.
Okay. Not threatening in progress.
What was I saying? So they're doing that glorious project where they are dubbing the TMNT Comics, the IDW run. And I was originally cast as somebody, and then through God's providence and Rioma's mercy and Luca, I have now since been made. At first, I was a director, and now I am head director, which is a wild concept. But yeah, so that's a thing that I do, and when that drops, please check us out because it's amazing. So many talented, cool cats involved, including many of our Book 4 Air friends.
Yeah.
Spiel.
Not to be confused with Cool Cat Saves the Kids, which is not as cool, and you probably shouldn't check out.
I don't know what that is.
That's fine. You're better off not knowing.
It is the TMNT Project Night. You're so smart.
Yo, congrats.
Yeah, amazing, crazy. I don't know. They put me in charge. I shouldn't be, but here we are. Fine. And actually, it's kind of really cool to see that side of things.
Yeah, nothing's broken yet.
We'll see. Oh, but yeah. So high school, did more plays, as many as I could. Auditioned and all that jazz. Did Seussical the Musical. Did Annie. Did I'm missing some. Oh, did Once Upon a Mattress. Did one more.
What is that one about?
Once Upon a Mattress is the story of Princess and the Pea.
Oh, I should have guessed.
Yeah, there's actually a really good movie version starring what's her name? Carol Burnett and Tracy Ullman. Fantastic. I highly recommend you check it out. If I didn't have certain restrictions, I would have made a killer Princess Winifred the Will Be Gone, but that's neither here nor there. Shout out to my girl Jordan because she played her and she killed it. Back on track. I'm missing a musical because we did one musical every year, and I'm trying to do a count. Let's see. Seussical was senior year, and then Annie Get Your Gun was the other one. Okay, so Annie Get Your Gun, Seussical. These are out of order. It was Annie, and then I think Annie Get Your Gun. And then
this is not the same Annie as the Orphan Annie, right?
Yeah, the first one was Annie, Orphan Annie.
But not the but the Annie Get Your Gun. That's not the same Annie.
That's a separate, separate.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, so I think it was Annie, and then what is the other one I just said? Oh, so it was Annie, Annie Get Your Gun, and then it was Once Upon a Mattress, and then it was Seussical the Musical. Okay, I'm clarified now.
You got them all.
Cool.
You got your full repertoire down.
I did. Also from the summer after 8th grade all through high school, so like 5 summers in total, I was in Rising Stars Theater Camp, which was what it sounds like, a theater camp. And I would have still been in it if I didn't age out, those bastards. But so for
dang
like
genetics,
a month,
dang aging.
how dare you? So for a month, the first month of summer, we do a whole play. So you audition, you get cast, and then you do rehearsals, and then we put on a production at the end of the month. So the first year was the very first year they ever had it. And it was Beauty and the Beast, and I was cast as one of the 4 narrators, which, if you don't know, apparently narrator is a big role. Like, you have a lot of speaking lines. And so everyone's like, oh, narrator. But no, it's actually one of the bigger roles. So that was pretty cool, because we had, high school kids, and I was a middle school kid, and it felt good to be cast in a speaking role. So yeah, that was really fun. And then we did Aladdin, which I was a harem girl in that, which, yeah, but but you get to be like in all the big musical numbers, like all of the big musical dance numbers. I was in there, like we were in all the big dancing things, and also like we just be in the background of the royal palace lounging.
Sorry,
at the
no,
foot
Rio,
of the
but not
Sultan.
hitting us again with it is exactly what you think it is. Not right now.
Perhaps.
Okay.
I mean, if it helped, the guy who was cast as the Sultan was like this itty bitty precious 12-year-old child. So like it's fine.
That is her. Also, Nine. Sorry, thank you for getting my Cool Cat reference.
And then we did The Little Mermaid, in which I was water chorus. So like I was literally the water in The Little Mermaid.
The water.
So again, weird like role, but I was in all of the scenes basically.
That's just
And I
such a
still
weird
have people
credit.
like to this day, like one of my friends' uncle, if I bump into him, someone will be like, "You were the best water." He still raves about it. And I didn't realize it, but I guess I was like the older one of the group, and so I ended up kind of being like the head water. My mom was always saying,
"Oh, now
yeah,
we're
like
getting
she was
to
like
really
all
weird
the other
topics."
girls who were water chorus would follow whatever you did, like whatever move you decided to do, like they took point from you, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. Wow. But yeah, so I was the water, and then I think the last year they did was Alice in, which I was a child, and then I was later one of the cards. Again, in a bunch of various musical numbers and whatnot. So that was Rising Stars Theater Camp, and that was a lot of fun. I still remember the first summer. It was near the end of the camp, and that day I had happened to be wearing this big bright red shirt. And one of the directors, Mr. Ariano, actually, he called me. Oh, we were playing some game, like after, like it's the end of the day. We're playing a game, and then we're gonna wrap up. So he was picking someone for the game, and he picks me out, but he didn't remember my name, and he calls me Jafar, which is racist, but also super.
No, oh no.
It was definitely racist, and he tried to play it off as a joke. And in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, no, that was pretty fucked up. But at the time, I laughed. But yeah, good times. Oh, but this guy, sorry, I'm kind of like airing some chisme on the air right now.
The drama.
But yeah, this is the same guy who like would cast himself as the lead, because he was a middle school theater teacher. So he would, and then later became a high school theater teacher. So he would very often cast himself as like the lead in plays that he was directing at these schools. Like I think he was Willy Wonka when they did Willy Wonka.
I mean, he can't play Charlie.
Yeah, but like he cast himself as like these very big prominent roles. And when people would ask him about it, he's like, well, none of these kids can play that role. And I was like, oh my god, dude. Yikes. I don't know. It makes me think of, and to some degree, I think a lot of it is like kind of shade, but sometimes it is accurate, where people will be like, oh, there are people who couldn't make it in whatever field they wanted to pursue, and so they became teachers. And while I hate that, but there is some truth to it. And I do think that teachers who actually have a love of teaching and a passion for teaching and like a care for their students are like, they are God's gift to this world. I believe teachers are the backbone of society and doing the Lord's work, and all the praise and thanks and respect to teachers, I swear. But then there are people who are just, their heart's not in it, and it's like, well, why are you in this field then? Yeah. He also made me and my friend Schmarley, I'm gonna keep calling her that because it's her fake name. So it was one of the times we were doing like rehearsals, and he's trying to like gauge everyone's abilities, right? And so we're all singing. He's like, oh, people who think they're in sopranos and altos and this and that, whatever, right? Sing this part. And then he was complaining about, we don't have enough sopranos. None of you guys can sing higher. And then, so me and my friend Schmarley were like, why not? Let's give it a try. Who knows? And so we tried to sing the higher part. And then the very next, after that, like, run, he's like, all right, and people, let's try to stick to the parts that are our parts to sing. I noticed a lot of people were off key, and I think it's because they're not singing their parts. And me and my friend Schmarley just looked at each other like, definitely talking about us.
Oh no.
He was like one of those like sassy, but like it's to hide that they're actually kind of mean. Anyway. I hope he's okay wherever he is.
Oh, hopefully so.
I got off topic. I've been given weird theater chisme.
I mean, you have talked about a subject that is in the tag, so which you mentioned you wanted to mention it. You specifically wanted to make sure I had the RE spelling of theater.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. So most people learn that theater is in America spelled THEATER. And in British English spelled THEATRE. However, not a lot of people know, and this is just what I was taught. Maybe it's wrong, maybe it's false. I fully, wholeheartedly believe it, and I will stick to this till the end of time. But what I was taught by my high school theater teacher, Ann Bridges, shout out to the GOAT. It's funny because her mom and her brother also worked at the school. They were both journalism teachers. Her brother was originally an English teacher, and then when her mom retired, he took over journalism. Anyway, right? Dynasty in the school. Big cool kid energy. Anyway, so one time I had mentioned what I'm about to relay to you guys. And he was like, no way. Where did you hear that? That's not true. And I was like, from your sister.
Oh.
Anyway, so the background for the spelling of theater. I was taught that Theater, or what's commonly referred to as the American spelling, is meant for the building. For example, a movie theater or an auditorium, a theater as in the structure, the building, the physical place, versus Theatre is for theater, the craft, the art. So take with that what you will, and if you argue against me, you can do that. I'm never gonna change my mind. But yeah, so I told that to Mr. Oh, I have to change his name, Mr. Schmingleton. His name was Mr. Singleton. It's fine. And he was like, "What? Is that true? Where did you hear that?" And I was like, "From your sister. Go ask her." And then I went and told his sister that he said, "What? No way that's true." And she's like, "It is. What the heck?" And then they were texting each other, and I thought that was hilarious. Whew. Good times, good times. Oh. Yeah. I had a lot of shenanigans in my high school theater class. I had a lot in middle school. I'd say there were even more in high school. So many. Some of which are on YouTube. You might be able to find.
A similar distribution of shenanigizing.
So many, dude. So you've seen that video I posted.
I've seen I think at least 2 different shenanigans.
Yeah, and like those are just the ones that got filmed. There are untold ones that were not filmed.
Yeah, similar thing. You've seen. Oh wait, actually no. You've seen. Okay, yeah. So you've seen the car lot ad.
Yes.
I don't think you've seen the 2-in-1 video. I have to put the pin in that for a later date.
But
that
if you're wondering,
that one's also more, I guess, related because I was actually in that one.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's awesome.
All right.
But in case you were wondering, yes, I have always been a menace. Because one time
to society
in middle school,
and yourself.
Yeah, basically. It is who I am. In middle school, we were staying after school to work on something. I don't know if it was props or set pieces or what, but there was some sort of like craft element happening in the theater room, making something. And Mr. Roberts, who was my 6th grade English teacher, was really good friends with Miss Eichler, who was my theater teacher. And so he was always like hanging out and helping out when he could and stuff. Shout out to Mr. Roberts. He was a real one. Well, we were sitting there and there was like this like weird like shape of cardboard, almost like a circle, but not smooth. Like it had weird bumpy rounded edges, right? And so then somebody had like, he drew on it, like a face, like it had a weird funky face from the weird shape of the weird cardboard. It was like this little thing, right? And somebody had glued a popsicle stick to the back of it, so it looked like it was like a face on a popsicle stick. And then he flipped it over and wrote "No Kauthar" on their side.
What?
And anytime I was acting a fool, he would just hold up the sign and be like, "No Kauthar." And it still it stayed in use for the rest of my middle school career. It was in a mug of pens on my theater teacher's desk. And she was like, "Shout out to Mr. Roberts."
Wow.
Coincidentally, I think that same day he was watching the newly released music video for Shakira's She Wolf, and we heard something coming from the computer, and we were like, "Oh, cool, what are you doing? What are you up to?" And he wouldn't let any of us look at the computer. And he's like, "Nope, not child appropriate, go away." And of course, as soon as we got home, we all went and looked it up. But yeah, She Wolf is a pretty good song. I enjoy that song. It was right around the vampire werewolf boom of the late 2000s, so it was a good time. Oh man, good stuff.
Yes, very, very. It does sound like it was a fun time. Most
It was a
definitely.
fun time. It was.
So.
Oh, middle school is also when I was the MC for the talent show, which we only had one. The whole like it wasn't like a recurring tradition, but they just were like, "Oh, we decided we're gonna put on a talent show," and so I auditioned for the talent show. My talent was pogo sticking, because I could pogo stick with no hands. What?
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Yeah, I was this should be stated for the courts. If you don't know me, I'm very clumsy, and I was like it was a known thing. Like I was so clumsy. I tripped over like flat surfaces. Like it was a big deal how clumsy I was. Um and so people were really astounded that little old clumsy me who fell over nothing could pogo stick, let alone with no hands. Well, I ended up not getting a slot, but I was made the MC of the whole event. So arguably I had the most stage time. And I did like open with pogo sticking, and then I was like, and now for
You
our
still
other
got your time.
contestant. I did.
You still got your day in the sun.
I'm not gonna lie, majority of the entries were girls who wanted to sing a song. Which I mean like that's fine and all, but like I was running out of things to say, and I was like, and now our next contestant with her glorious voice, and like running out
And
of
now,
and
another
now
one.
another contestant with a glorious voice. I was just running out of things to like ham it up and make it individual because everyone wanted to sing a song. That was a good time.
You've heard people sing. You haven't heard this person in particular sing, though.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Alrighty then. So we're getting to the end here.
I feel like I should read that I never saw another butterfly poem that is forever in my brain. I feel like I should. I don't know. I don't know about you.
How much do you really want to?
Yeah, I do. It's short.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Okay. So
I will
this
get.
is the poem.
I will. So, because for reference, I'm cooking something. If you haven't noticed, and might need a little bit more time. So please feel free to fill in with stuff.
Cool. I can filibuster the hell out of this.
I mean, I have something actually to go to after you mention this, but yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Real quick, I will answer Knight's question. Where they said, "Wait, for real? How did you learn to pogo stick without a hand?" Well, here's the trick. This is a trade secret. It's not really. It's how I did it. So I grew up. We had a pogo stick in the backyard. And so I had practiced with it. Well, eventually I got I think it was meant for smaller children. At least it wasn't meant for an adult. It was not an adult-sized pogo stick, I don't think. But you just hold it with your knees. Like there's like that middle section that goes between your legs, and then the handle up. Just grip it with the sides of your knees, and it's the same thing. No hands required. Look, Ma, no hands.
Wow.
I adored the feelings. That was amazing night, and I'm so glad you took my suggestion and made it reality. And it was glorious, beautiful, and I love cats, and it was a beautiful thing.
Speaking of cats, I just realized that Trixie has a tail, and I'm gonna have to work with it. And
You did this yourself.
I did do this myself.
Okay, so I Never Saw Another Butterfly was the name of that play I did in middle school that is about the Holocaust. More specifically, a ghetto where people were displaced and forced into before going to the concentration camp. So this was like a pre-concentration camp. Everyone crammed into these very tiny spaces. They called them a ghetto. It's essentially like a tiny little neighborhood thing. Very sad. Holocaust, obviously, very sad.
Yeah.
So this is the poem that gave the play its name, and it was also written about the ghetto called Terezin, where these people were crammed in together and forced to live in terrible conditions before later being sent to camps where they died, and it's very sad. I never saw another butterfly. The last, the very last. So richly, brightly, dazzling yellow. Perhaps if the sun's tears sing against a white stone. Such a yellow. It's carried lightly, way up high. and went away, I'm sure, because it wished to kiss the world goodbye. For 7 weeks, I've lived here, penned up inside this ghetto. But I have found my people here. The dandelions call to me, and the white chestnut candles in the court. Only, I never saw another butterfly. That butterfly was the last one. Butterflies don't live here in the ghetto. The end. So yeah, it is sad, but it's permanently ingrained in my brain. So. So yeah, I did theater through middle school, and then I did theater through high school, and then I did theater in college, believe it or not.
Sorry, I just realized I
No.
was trying to speak things, but I muted my mic because a very large car drove past. Sorry.
No, you're good.
So, anyways, so when you said you remember, like, it's grained, do you just mean the poem in general, or did you actually, like, recite it from memory just now?
Yeah, I just recited it from memory just now.
Ooh, okay, wow.
Yeah, if anyone is always like, oh, perform something, like, that is the one quote-unquote monologue that is always in my brain that I can just pull out.
All right.
And in college, I auditioned for things, but I wasn't getting things. Also, because, like, nobody knew me, right? Even though it was a small college, it helps to people to know you. Because cold reads are not necessarily everyone's friend. No one does their best at a cold read audition. So what I did is I volunteered for anything I could. They needed a soundboard operator, so I did that for the first, like, 2 or 3. And then that got me, like, in the door. If they needed help with something, I was going to be there. And that's always kind of been my way. I might not be the best at something or even, like, the one that people want for something, but I'm going to show up and I'm going to offer my time and try to make myself helpful in whatever way I can.
Okay. Sounds a little sad, but, like, yeah, I get you.
I wouldn't say it's sad. I would say, like, that's what gets you recognition. Because
I guess,
somebody
yeah.
could be massive, like, could be a massive talent, you know, just naturally gifted. But if they're a pain in the ass to work with, if they're not willing to put in hard work or time or effort or energy, if they're not decent to be around, or if they're not willing to adapt to things not being, you know, ideal, then they're not going to be someone who people are going to want to work with repeatedly. And that's something that I was taught with my time in theater, is that, yeah, a lot of the job is networking, and that's still kind of the case with voice acting. But people are more willing, even if you're not the most amazing person, someone is going to want to work with you for the way you treat others and your willingness to work hard versus, you know, just your talent. Your talent is not going to be the end all. It's not going to get you everywhere you need to be. It's great to have talent, and it's amazing to build skill, and those things are, to a degree, necessary. But how you treat others and your work ethic is also really, really meaningful, and is how you not only get jobs, but how people, through word of mouth, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I was thinking about hiring so-and-so for this thing. Well, somebody else, everyone in the industry fucking knows each other. Like, that's such a thing. Like, people would be like, oh, I've worked with that person, right? So they'd be like, oh, actually, I worked with them, and they were flaky, and they didn't show up, and they were, you know, very prima donna, only cared about them, were not invested in the team. Oh, thanks for letting me know. I'm actually not going to hire them. Versus, hey, this person, I know that they're, like, not Broadway level caliber, but they work hard, they stay late, they show up early. You should look into them. Thanks. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Weird side tangent. But yeah. Also, through college is how I got cast in My Arab Fall, which was my biggest and heftiest role to date.
Yeah, because that's the one where you played, like, 4 different people, and, like, you only had one other co-cast with that.
Not to mention the subject matter was very heavy.
Very, very, yes. Dang, I've said before, for those who haven't seen it, it's a good thing that most of the that see because there's a very rough scene that involves one of Cal's characters going through one of the worst things possible with a human being, and lucky for I guess the person who did the deed, it was also her. So it was kind of like you can't.
Me.
It was also it's like so you can't because she was playing. It's very complicated emotions. It's just like I'm mad.
Yeah, I played both the attacker and the victim. So yeah, this is pretty crazy. Honestly, really interesting choice from like a creative perspective, and a very interesting way to tell that story.
Yeah. Sometimes, that's a very appropriate ASCII emote, 9 Starlight. Just the surprised eyes.
Knight wasn't in the server when we streamed that, huh?
I don't believe so.
I think they joined like a month after that, I want to say. It's my best.
I think, yeah.
Knight or anyone, honestly, if you wanted to see that and you're in the Atlas, let me know. I will stream it again sometime, but also I won't make a big fuss because last time we had a lot of people there and I don't want to keep beating the dead horse. But if someone is interested, they can message me and I can either send them the Google. If you know me. If you don't know me, I'm not just gonna link it publicly because I don't have permission to do that. But if you know me, I can DM it to you privately.
Okay. Oh, wait. I just had a sorry.
Or not yet?
I just had a big brain idea. Sorry, what?
I said, did you finish cooking or not yet? It's okay.
Well, hang on. If this what I'm about to do works, it'll get me really close. I had just had a big brain idea. Please tell me that this works. Please tell me this saves me work.
Let it work. Let it work. Let it work. Let it work. Please let Curtis have this. Let it work.
Okay. Oh, I think it might do it.
So Knight, the entire play consisted of 2 people. It was me and the woman who play. And so we each of us play multiple characters. And so one of the characters, the 2 biggest characters that I play are the guy who ends up being one of the attackers later on and the woman who gets attacked. So I wasn't playing them simultaneously, but it would be like from scene to scene, I would be one or the other of them.
Yeah.
It is definitely very heavy, deals with SA and harassment and violence, so definitely mentally prepare before going into it, but it's also a very powerful story and one that I think needed to be told.
Okay, I got good news and I got bad news. Bad news, the thing I was going to try didn't work 100%. The good news is it kind of works. It kind of saves me some work, so...
Yeah, I'll take it. It's a victory.
Yeah, I just have to readjust accordingly. Yeah, I think, you know what? I think it works just fine. Alrighty then, so we're about finished. I think the final thing then we'll talk about, I guess the character that you are playing.
Oh yeah, it's about darn time. Why don't you talk about? She's your baby.
She's my baby. Well, see, this goes back to when I had the one with Dorn. We were talking about the ownership of a character, and it's like when you have like especially an indie project, when you got something like Undertale, like it's very clear like Sans is 100% like Toby Fox's character, like no doubt, but like when you have voice acting on a project, to a certain degree, the character does become partially owned by, the person who does the vocal performance. Because they bring their own unique experiences whenever they speak the lines, even if they are written by the person who created the character.
You're not wrong. There is an element of becoming or embodying a character. Mm-hmm. And like pulling from real places and all of that jazz. But I'm getting into the depth of acting, so let me back up a second. Trixie. Trixie is... She's not paid enough for this bullshit.
She's not... So I mentioned before, so I remember, it's been a little bit since I've gone through the full thing, so that's the thing. So why does Trixie look like...
it does.
The name? Well, that's because she has not been given her proper blade yet. But I guess you're not wrong at this point, at least. So Trixie is the first non-human character that you encounter maybe you hit another NPC, but generally speaking, Trixie is going to be the first non-human character that you encounter in the game. The kingdom where she lives at with all of her friends, it is a mixed kingdom, so there are multiple races. However, it is somewhat common that the races kind of keep to their own villages. So Trixie was raised in an entirely human village, and that caused some issues growing up. That she was an obvious target for bullying because she was the only cat person there. So this really did change her personality. It really did make her. She's quite pessimistic. She looks towards people with how are you going to hurt me first before other things. But the people that she does like, she holds very closely in regard. So particularly, Jita met Trixie at a very young age, and she was one of the first people, aside from Trixie's adopted human parents, that was just like, hey, I think you're cool. I don't care about how you look. So Trixie is very much holds Jita in high regard, probably basically her best friend, and is very protective of her as a result. It's worth noting how I guess the lore goes is Jita first takes up a job doing the mail carrying stuff, and much later Trixie eventually also takes up the same job. They also, it's worth noting, both Jita and Trixie live not in the mail delivery town that you see here, but they do live in the first region that you see in the game.
Pallet Town.
Yeah, so Trixie's village is going to be one of the first places you can go to the game, and the port city where Jita lives is also going to be in the game. See, that was a thing where it's just like, I wrote the lore of, yes, they are friends, but that means that I have to, when designing the map, I have to actually make sure that they are geographically close to each other, so the lore of them being friends works out.
We're friends. We're not geographically close to each other.
I mean, yeah, but we also have the internet. They do not have the internet.
Okay, but mail carrier. Consider that.
There could be some stuff, but for now it's easiest. It also works out because their locations need to be close so that their respective story quests, can happen much easier. It's worth noting that in the first build that I'm going to have posted with story content, Trixie her story quest will not be in it. You only see Jita and Rikers. However, Trixie makes a very notable appearance at the end of Jita's story quest, because she is very much the one. So the one main thing that because I haven't put Cal's voice work as Trixie in the game yet because she's not done as a playable character. But she has voiced her in the comic, the self-preservation comic.
Check it out.
Yes. So there was a meme a while back where it's like, you've heard of tsundere. Now get ready for a girl who really just doesn't like you at all. So in earlier drafts of the story, Trixie was fairly friendly, because you bond really quickly with Jita, and because she's Jita's friend, she bonds to us really quickly. However, one of the things I really like in a game is in the video game Persona 5, where that friendly NPC energy is entirely absent, because in the beginning of the game, you are a transfer student that has a criminal record, and everyone's scared of you. No one likes you. That was a really hard opening that I really liked. I still wanted the people to be friendly to you, but the more I thought of it, the more I realized, actually, given Trixie's personality, it makes sense of her to actually despise you, because Jita, she's the one who's going to go off on an adventure, but she's at least somewhat responsible, whereas your character, MC, in most cases just throws caution to the wind, and because Jita's your friend, and because she's spirit adventure and all that, she will go along with your shenanigans. And Trixie very quickly starts to dislike you because you are the one that's dragging people, including Jita, who she holds as her best friend, into dangerous situations. So she makes an appearance. You really want to make
the player work for her love.
Yes.
You gotta earn it.
But yeah, so basically it's like, so everyone else, well, I should say, so Jita and Riker are pretty warm to you at the start, Blaze is kind of ambivalent because he's the guy who dodges social interaction. Reggie again is introverted, but at least he's there, so he kind of can't go anywhere. You just talk to him, and he has to talk to you because it's his job, sort of thing. So he's not hard to talk to. Whereas Trixie, she flat out just does not like you, and we get to it when we get to the first part of the story quest. When she opens up to you specifically because you're the only person, because she needs to take you to somewhere dangerous, and she doesn't feel bad if anything happens to you because she doesn't like you. She's like, I can't bring Jita along with this because I wouldn't forgive myself if she got hurt. You, on the other hand, I'm totally fine if you get hurt.
Expendable.
You are expendable. Yeah, so there's that whole thing that happens. But of course, she does come around because Trixie, by far, not going to get into spoilers, but Trixie has probably the most... She goes through the most uncomfortable situation because she has to deal with, essentially how she views people. Without spoiling things, she has this view that some people are safe, and her idea of what is safe is challenged in the most, tossing you into the deep end of the pool way possible. So yeah, she's gonna have to. Yes. Are you doing the Lion King 2 song again?
Of course I am. What do you think?
Of course you are.
Is?
Yeah. So that's it. But yeah. So I really think it worked well for you because again. So I was familiar with your work with Toph initially because that's what I've seen. It ended up working really well. That I found out that you're really good at portraying pain and crying stuff because that is going to happen.
My forte.
Yeah. Also,
emotional junk is, ouch, weirdly my forte.
It's going to be a similar thing with Heidi. Heidi is very good at crying. Spoiler alert: I will be making full use of her ability to cry.
No.
It will happen. I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. But they will all be better people as a result. So yeah, that's where it's gonna go. Not gonna spoil things, but yeah.
Except for character development.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you suffer.
Yeah, but it's so see here. Listen. Here's the thing. The broke OC creator will have the trauma happen in the backstory. The Chad one is gonna have it happen on screen. You're gonna watch the trauma happen. That's what I'm gonna do.
Scary stuff.
So yeah, yeah, it ends up working really well again because you have that aggressive tone. Except Toph, when you do it in book 4, is more loud aggressive, whereas Trixie is more of a sassy, sarcastic,
attitude.
Biting, but more subtle aggressive.
You're a freak, you know that, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite things. Yeah, because basically Trixie is also she's the main person who reacts you and calls you out on your video game protagonist BS. Hey guys, I went off and I fought this giant monster. It's just normal people do not do this. You'll do it because you're playing a video game and you want to fight the big monster. But Trixie's like, no, stop it, get some help.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, so because especially I'm still working out the details, but what it basically boils down to is Trixie, comes to an understanding of you as a character and why you do things. She becomes more understanding for you, and thus, and you form a bond that's definitely different from everyone else. But it's definitely the one I'm not gonna say happiest with because I'm happy with all of them. They're all my kids in some way, shape, or form. But yeah,
he's a real creative. They're his children.
Yeah. So I think it works out pretty well. But yeah, so yeah, you do that.
I'm excited to see how it all pans out.
Yeah, so and also given the things, so again, it works out also because again, in universe, Trixie is considered, a minority that has to deal with discrimination, and I feel like you wouldn't be fair, or sorry, you wouldn't be opposed to claiming something like that, would you?
No, yeah, I am on more than one benchmark, and I can relate.
Yeah. So that you definitely
The
have.
xenophobia is real. I
Yeah,
have
yeah. So
experienced it.
you'll have things. We also already talked about that since Trixie is an animal character that works with if we ever show up in person at cons, for you, because you
Oh,
can. Because you can just like put on purple cat ears like on top of your hijab and you're like, yes, I'm Trixie.
it works. Yeah, it definitely works. I have fluffy red cat ears. I guess I'll have to get some fluffy purple ones.
Yeah, it works. It just
It
works.
works.
Trixie is
I
gonna
just
put the game character on a leash. Stop it! No one gets to kill the monsters. You can kill the small ones; those are fine. Everyone kills the small ones here. The big ones, not. Stop.
I just saw Ryoma. I'm sorry, I'm super duper late. But yes, we are making a Tales of Innocence dub, and oh gosh, I'm the lead.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
If I stop putting off recording Ruka, we'll have something to put out soon. I'm excited for that. So shout out to that. Sorry, Curtis.
No. You're
Took
fine. You're
over.
fine. Interacting with chat is the whole part of the streaming job. You gotta build up the rapport.
I kind of low key like Knight's comment about Trixie's gonna put the game character on a leash because like that's kind of like a reparations thing. Like, oh, she's
What?
an animal character.
Uh,
She's turning the tables. Okay.
yeah.
She's girl bossing a little too close to the sun.
Oh,
It's fine.
speaking of which, that has to be one of my favorite little bits of world building that I've done. Coming up with my own slurs.
Oh no. Why
So-
is that your favorite? Don't phrase it like that, sir.
Yeah. So one of the big things is that very understandably, all of the animal-related species in this world do get offended when you refer to them as, the animal equivalent.
I bet.
Yeah. So because of this, that means humans, we get our own slur. Kind of. Oh boy, slurs. Yeah. So sometimes if you're going the reverse way, you'll find one of the animal species referring to us as the apes in a derogatory fashion. That is because that is our closest equivalent to the animal kingdom. If someone calls you that, it's probably not very nicely, at least in universe.
That reminds me. So it's actually in an unreleased chapter. It's in the drafts of chapter 10 of my work in progress novel Desert Royal.
Oh yes, Desert Royal.
So 9 of them I have written and are basically completed. They're like still in draft form, but I'd say they're completed, right? But chapter 10 has been stuck on hiatus. So I have the beginning of it written, and then I've been on like a self-imposed hiatus for a while now. Well, in that chapter 10 draft, there is a part where there's like, I guess almost like slurs being discussed. Basically, someone talks about these nicknames that the other soldiers gave them as like an outsider. And they're like, what? And then her friends who are like treat her much more favorably are like, what? How? You just let them call you that? And she's like, it's not a big deal. I ended up figuring out what they translated to. This one means white, this one little girl. It's patronizing, but it's not a big deal. And then this word, it just is the female conjugation of wanderer, no? And they're like, not quite. You were right about it being the female conjugation, but that word means orphan. And she's like, oh, well, that was decidedly crueler than I was led to believe.
And
then she's like, oh, and there were...
I love that phrase.
Right? And then she's like, oh, there were also those who called me Sahirat Fadia, and they're like, and then they stop and they look at her and they're like, hold on, you're telling me they called you a silver-eyed witch and you just took that lying down? Like, maybe they start getting all up in arms. And she's like, it doesn't matter. It's chill. It's cool. It's fine. It's in the past. The past can hurt. But it just made me think of that when about slurs.
Yeah, I guess that works out then.
It's an interesting sort of like world building element. Because at first you're like, oh, I'm excited about it. I was like, that's a weird way to phrase it. But it is like, it does add to world building and developing culture. And like, where there's culture, there's inevitably some forms of prejudice. And so like, that does kind of
my big thing also
out.
that I'm like with world building is like, in this game, there you are no longer judged based on the color of their skin. Yay! Because now people have moved on to judging people for other things. So yeah, that's a huge thing going on there. But yeah, so I guess the final thing I'll talk about game wise, there's a concept which I very love to mention in games. It's called ludonarrative dissonance, which basically means it tends to be it's a bad thing actually. It's where your gameplay doesn't match up with the story you're telling in some way, shape, or form. So
that's something I wouldn't know about because I haven't made a game.
Yes.
My writing is not in this medium, so that's such an interesting thing.
See, if we were to turn Desert Royale into a game, a good form of ludonarrative dissonance would be, after the opening cutscene, where the prince saves the girl that he finds, and then afterwards you get a mission that says, okay, now you have a mission where you must go and we'll say unalive all of these other slave girls of the same race as the person you just mentioned. That would be a form of ludonarrative dissonance. In all the cutscenes and stuff, he's being nice, but you just had a mission where you did something that was very opposed to his character.
That's so crazy. Because I'm like if in an RPG setting or really any game with some semblance of a story structure, like how can the events of what you're accomplishing, like, how does that contradict that story? Like, whoa! Oh, sorry, mind blown right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting. Now, sometimes there's minor forms of, like, I think one of the first versions I heard of it. If you play Lego Star Wars, you can beat up, characters that are friends. You could have,
friendly fire in Lego Star Wars.
Yes. Now that is ludonarrative dissonance because there's no way that any of those there's no way that Han and Luke would beat each other up to death. But now, on the one hand, it's like, well, that's the players just messing around with each other versus, something like a side quest. It's like, because that's like, that's implied to actually happen. That's outside of the player's
versus
hand.
like story structure of the game versus just like in-game shenanigans or mechanics that you can exploit.
Yeah. And especially that's where, you got some more modern game protagonists where to help with the ludonarrative dissonance, they write characters with personalities that make it where all the video game BS you do is canon. I'm leaning into that version. For example, like Link in the newer Zelda the game, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they give him a personality where, like, this is a feral child, so that everything you do is somewhat in character for him.
True. Oh, yes, Ryoma. Ryoma said that we should go play... Go Life Bottle. Is it like or Life Bottle?
What?
Sorry, he was saying, says go Life Bottle Productions and play our other Tales of Hearts voice mod too. Yes, it's very good. I haven't played it, but I've heard a lot of the voice snippets. It's amazing. If you like the Tales games, please check that out. Also, Ryoma, yes, the best kind of world building and character development. Slurs and racism. Yes. No, Ryoma, that is not the message here. Oh boy, unalive. Yeah. Oh boy, Legos.
You have yet to tackle prejudice in the lore of your storm wraiths as their heavy isolationists. Ooh, yeah, so that's a big thing. World connections. How does world form the characters? Because, again, just the whole point is when you have various races, racism just kind of writes itself. Especially like the stuff with Tolkien's work in the Lord of the Rings and all that. How they've got the... It's not like full on racism, but there's definitely things where just like, I'm not gonna stand with an elf.
I mean, so in any setting where there's free will, which is typically most narrative settings, because most narrative settings are framed on the concept of humans or some sort of sentient creature, right? And so with sentient creatures, with a level of intelligence like humans, or similarly, there is the potential for good and for evil, because that's the nature of free will and like freedom of choice. when those situations arise, there's always the potential for prejudice, because like that it's just kind of, as much as like good and kindness and selflessness and generosity are human characteristics, prejudice and jealousy and like, oh, you're different than me and I'm going to be scared and therefore hate you, is also kind of the bread and butter written right in with that. But I think it's, I don't know, it's something that is interesting to explore in terms of narrative. So like, for example, with Night Story with their isolationists, that kind of is like a perfect opportunity if you wanted to delve into that topic, because it's like, okay, so why are they isolationist? Does that have, what is the motivation there, or what is the primary like push for that? What led to that choice? And then even aside from that, if they do ever encounter someone else because they are such heavy isolationists, would that then create an opportunity for a negative confrontation, or for, you know, preconceived notions or prejudice to be formed? So it's just, I don't know, a lot of cool world building stuff to delve into. Not to say, Ryoma, that racism and slurs and prejudice are cool, but they are kind of facts of life. And so if you create a world in a narrative, in a creative setting that is devoid of any prejudice or negativity, then it's almost like, if your narrative does not support the utopia that you have now created, like there's no reasoning for why, or no meaning behind why it's the utopia that you have now made, then what kind of story are you telling? There's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be some element of wrong or pushback. And so if you're not giving it a place in the world building, it might end up undermining your world building as a result.
Yeah, definitely. I've actually, you know what, for next time, Cal, because there will be a next time, because this is going very well. I believe we should probably talk about narrative and world building for the next time you show
bro.
up. I think that would be a very, very good place. Unfortunately, it's taking me... Oh, sorry. No. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was like, all of these ones where I was like, oh, talk about this. But when we just started having a conversation, my brain, like the gears started turning, and like I just had a whole spiel off of like, just because I was thinking about it. Not like, oh, talk about this. And it's like, okay, what do I talk about? But when you get me going, man, I never shut up.
Oh, wow. I got you going.
You did. You were saying
it is going to take longer to cook this than I thought, because again, Trixie's got a whole bunch of stuff. I was thinking if I could finish up the attack animation while doing this, but I mean, like, she's got her bag, she's got the tail I gotta worry about, and then I gotta go back. So I think we're going to get around to wrap this up, and I will save the completing up Trixie for the next time I have you here. In the meantime, I will go ahead and quickly.
It was supposed to be like a dun dun dun.
Yeah. Although before I get it, did I ever tell you about the racism test I had to take in college?
Do tell.
It's one of my favorite memories. This was in I've told you about my religion and culture class and the problems I've had with it. But that class did have the racism test, which almost single-handedly redeemed it, because it was a very simple test. Which Nine Star like got jump scared by the kazoo. The main reason they're isolationists is because the world considers them a myth. Oh, so kind of like the How to Train Your Dragon stuff of how like they gotta go in the island or whatever. I get you. Yeah,
that's really cool, Night.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's kind of I hate to sorry to draw a comparison, but again, like sort of what they do with Harry Potter, of like, this is our secret world that we regard as myths, so we have to keep to ourselves. So yeah. The racism test
also makes me think of Atlantis. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah, a lot of myth things whenever they're real. Yeah. But yeah, the racism test was as follows. You had to, what was it? You had to click on, I forget what it was. What were you supposed to click? I want to say, like, you wanted to click on, I don't think it was someone you felt safe with or whatever. But it was basically, it's something to the effect of click on, there was two pictures of people. It says click on the one, that I think you felt most safe with or something like that. And what they did eventually they introduced.
Sounds like that test with the baby dolls and the children.
Well, sort of. So eventually they would have people they would have different skin tones introduced into the mix or whatever, and it was basically a reaction test. Basically, the way that this test went was the quicker you clicked on people regardless of skin tone, the less racist you were. I forget what the comparison was. Or
honestly, it's reminding me a lot of that scene from Men in Black during Will Smith's test, and he's like, "Oh, well, that guy's just working out, and that guy's just doing this with this girl."
Yeah.
Yeah, that was essentially a racism test in and of itself.
Yeah, I need to remember the actual details of the part, but the details of the test weren't important. The results of the test were very satisfying.
So you're not a racist.
Well, no. Because here's the thing: it was judging for racial bias, is what it was, and it was funny because a majority of the people in this class had racial bias according to the test, and these were people that considered themselves, to be, at best, you just simply had people that just didn't think they were racist, and then you also had, we'll call them the performative activist people. If you will, that were also there, and they just couldn't believe that they were racist. And then the teacher then asked me, it's like, so yeah, did you? Or the question was, were you surprised by the results of your test? And you had all the people saying yes, they were. They got to me. It's like, okay, Curtis, were you surprised? I was like, no, not whatsoever. I was just like, because yes, according to the test, I had a bit of racial bias to me because I didn't click on the people of color fast enough. I was just like, well, of course I'm going to have a bit of bias.
There's a timer?
There was a timer, yes. There was a timer element to it.
I can't take this test.
Yeah. No. All you have to... If you're equally slow on all of them, Cal, you're fine.
But I don't know if that'll be the case. I just feel like the data will be skewed. Timers do not reflect me, and I want no part of them.
Yeah. Point is, I said, well, I'm not surprised by the test. I grew up in a small town in America in an all-white neighborhood. I'm just used to more white people. Of course I'm going to hesitate. Just with the standard instinct. But here's my thing. So this was a check for racial bias. Maybe that was there. However, I feel like, because maybe when it comes to some elements of racism, there is fear. Like, it's always fear at the end of the day. Fear, I don't think, is something that is bad in the case. However, the choice you make, the conscious choice, maybe I could go, oh yeah, at a first glance, maybe I'll hesitate, based off of an appearance. But then my brain can then go, oh, that's just me, attaching a label to someone based off of their appearance, which isn't fair. Maybe my first instinct is to think this, but as a conscious thinking human being with free will, I choose to not follow that line of thought.
That is something that I've heard about before, which I consider to be your true self. So basically, it's like, your gut and your first inclination is how you've been conditioned to behave or conditioned to think. So, for example, maybe you're walking down the street and you see somebody and you have a mean thought about them, like, oh, that person is so this or so that, and it's a mean or not nice thought, prejudiced thought in some way. But you don't say that to them, or whatever. You think something negative, but then what comes out of your mouth is a different. Somebody would be like, oh, well, you're faking. I disagree. I think the active choices we make reflect who we are. So choosing whether or not to say something unkind or to do something unkind is more of a reflection versus what our first inclination might be. It's how we've been conditioned. Because society and the things that surround us and our environment do affect us. They do condition us to behave a certain way, but we still, at the end of the day, have a choice. And I think that's what you exhibited, and I think that's what counts. Are the choices we make are the truer reflection of who we are, rather than what our thought is.
Yeah. Because for another example, if we're talking like with people who have maybe anger issues, I am the opposite of an angry person. I have the longest amount of patience possible. saying that I'm a better person just because I don't have angry tendencies versus someone who has that but like does their hardest to like, you know, be calm and control it. Like they're the ones with the strength, not me.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that like feeds directly into like deontological ethics, essentially like the ethics of intention. What makes somebody a good person? Do intentions play a factor in that? All that jazz. I think it
Yeah.
really does because so many people be like, oh, well, it's being kind or being a good person is not hard, and so all of these people are bad people because they think being kind is so hard. But if you think about it, who is kinder? The person who puts so much time and effort to do a good thing and so often has it blow up in their face, who is struggling and striving and putting so much energy and effort and frustration into being a good person, versus somebody who might have it be easy for them, come easy naturally, second nature to them, who doesn't have to worry or think or agonize over a decision to know what the right thing is. Who's putting in more effort? Who is the kinder person in that? Do intentions play a factor? And I think that that's something that a lot of people kind of take for granted. It's like, oh, well, it should be easy to be kind. Not for everybody. Not everybody has lived the same life, and not everybody's life has been kind to them. But I think it's the choices we make and the things we strive to be. I think people who work really hard to be kind, even when they themselves feel terrible and it's really hard and they're having a really shitty time, but still take the effort to not take that out on other people and are still, even though it's killing them, working towards being a better person. I think that's a really beautiful testament of kindness versus somebody who doesn't necessarily have any troubles and their life is pretty easy, and so being kind is pretty easy for them because it's all they've known. Sorry, went off on a weird tangent.
No, I mean, no, that was
that
was totally on topic.
Cool. I am a really big believer in importance of intention. Well, I do think like you can make mistakes and treat people badly or do something bad, even while having the best of intentions. I do still greatly think that your intentions and your actions do have value, even if they're not the end all value. Like you might think, oh, I'm doing something so nice for this person, and maybe it's not nice for them. They actually don't like that. The thought counts, even though it's not the whole tally, right? Because what someone wants ultimately and what will, actually help them, you can't help someone against their will, or you can't say, oh, I helped you even though you did something that they didn't want you to do. So that is valid. And how you treat people and how they are affected by how you treat them is definitely weighs in, but I do think that someone's intention has weight and it has value and it has a seat at the table in terms of like who's good, who's bad, and all of that.
Definitely, yeah. Last mention before we wrap this up here, the main reason they're isolationists is because the king tried to invade the rest of the world. That's an interesting... That is... Because, yeah, that's something they did in a anime, which I'm not going to name because that's a spoiler. One of the few animes I've seen. I think it's funny also, Cal, how you're the big anime person. I feel like when you... most people, like... they feel like, oh, in the dynamic, it's always the guy who's the anime, and the girl is just sort of like, oh, yeah, of course, yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, Goku, really interesting guy, and yeah, I really like.
Can we talk about Gohan, my love?
Yeah, I loved with that scene where Goku fought Naruto.
How dare you leave? We're ending the stream. Stream's over. See you guys later.
But
look at me, Curtis. Look at me in the eye. We are fighting dreamers.
Wait, let me look at your profile picture in Discord. Okay, I'm looking at you in the eyes now.
We are fighting dreamers. Takame wo mezashite, okay? do you understand?
I do.
Are you on the same page as me? Live your life like a Kamehameha, okay? And until you can do that, don't talk to me.
How dare you, Chris? Very. I gotta give it to you, Ryoma. Very.
You
very few things give me joy than Ryoma just going, "How dare you, Curtis?
You're a monster." My mom is sitting right next to me, and she has seen all of Naruto and Shippuden, and even like 40-some episodes of Boruto, and she is also disgusted with you. I'm not.
I know just enough. I don't know everything, but I know just enough to make you feel pain.
Putting words in my mouth.
Did you hear my mom?
What'd you say here?
Say it again, Mom.
I said, don't be putting words in my mouth. I didn't say anything like that.
She said, "Don't attack Curtis. How dare you?" If no one else, my mom will always have your back.
Thank you, Auntie Amon.
Said, "Thank you, Auntie Mom."
Yeah.
It's the same when I try to attack Ryoma. She's like, "Don't do that. Don't do that to that." Stop that. What did he do? He's a good boy.
The biggest tether there. So yeah, wonderful. I will catch up on
No,
things.
there's no rush. I'm so behind on everything. Like, I have not seen Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm behind on. I'm so behind on One Piece. Like, there's so many things, and I'm not gonna be guilted or shamed for not having seen something yet. I will get to it in my own time, and if you keep hounding me, it's just gonna be even longer time.
Yeah, final note on that tangent. I thought it was interesting because when I went back home last time, my mom was like, "So I started watching the live action One Piece, and it was pretty good." I was like, "Oh, okay." And she's like, "You want to watch it?" I was like, "Sure." I've never seen anything of One Piece. Yeah, I'll watch it. So.
One Piece is glorious. I grew up watching the 4Kids dub on Saturday morning cartoon. Which, by the way, like, unironically, that 4Kids One Piece rap opening slaps, and you cannot convince me otherwise, okay? I will die on that hill. But yeah, really good. I need to catch up. Though I did hear, I posted a thing about it. Apparently they're coming out with the One Piece, which is essentially like Kai for One Piece. Like, it's gonna be much shorter and streamlined. And like updated newer animation and all of this stuff.
The abridged, but like not like that abridged you normally think of. Like it's
it's not like abridged in terms of a parody. It's very much in like the Dragon Ball Z Kai, except it's gonna be called The One Piece, and it's a shorter, streamlined One Piece. It's like, oh no, they've done it. The hallowed 2-piece is real.
The 2 pieces. Okay. All right. So to wrap things up, again, I will probably finish up all the Trixie attack sprites next time you show up then, because it'll be on topic. In the meantime, other than the Trixie stuff, here's what we got if you feast your eyes on the screen share.
Feast your eyes! Sorry.
That was brave, wasn't it?
It might have been. Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
I'm pretty sure.
It also might have been How to Train Your Dragon, but it very well could have been Brave.
I'm pretty sure it was Brave because they were Scottish in that. It was of a guy who was flashing another guy from his kilt. It was in the trailers, which is probably why it stuck.
That's probably why it stuck in my brain. Yeah, because I actually was really disappointed in Brave. It's a good enough movie, but I had a very different expectation of what the movie was going to be. And I was really excited about it, and then I watched the film, and it was not the movie I thought it was.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, but I'm a diehard How to Train Your Dragon fan. That's okay. Yeah, I'll go get my fill elsewhere.
Very good. Oh yeah, so speaking of things that are real, the child is real now.
The child.
Yeah.
Where is that flower?
It's very Dora energy.
Griffin, where's my money? Where's my money?
Yeah, so we talked to her. I'm looking at a flower to give to my mama. That's so...
Did you see Ryoma? Did you see what he put?
What? Wait, what?
If I could change your feet, would ya?
Yeah, that one I don't remember.
It's from the trailer. It's saying, if you could change your fate, would you?
Oh, yeah.
But with the accent. If you could change your fate, would ya?
I hope there was an Easter egg with the MC feeding black hole candy. I'll see if I can feed the stream, Laura. That's so okay. So imagine Heidi saying this. Hang on, let me try and get my Heidi impression here. Oh dear, this is probably gonna be terrible. No, I'm stopping. I'm not gonna try it. I'm gonna stop there.
That's so sweet, but it's dangerous out there in the forest.
Oh, thank you.
Best I could do. Sorry, I won't hold a candle to Heidi. She's a goddess.
Okay, yeah.
Why don't you let us get it for you?
Wow, really? Thank you so much. This is not going to be the actual dialogue. This is just going to be placeholder until I come up with the actual dialogue, because obviously the actual scene is going to be like, oh,
the actual dialogue is not, where is that my motherfucking flower?
Yeah, and here's the flower. Now it's no longer red. Now it's blue. This is not the flower she's going to ask for, but it's closer to the flower that she wants.
Not the flowers you're looking for.
Thank you, Kenobi. Glad you recognized the joke. Yep. That's a bunch of joke recognizers here.
Yeah, I'm a jokester. I'm.
Speaking of joke recognizers, hey, Cow.
Howdy.
No. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. No, that's... Wait, can I... Is this still here? Okay, no, it's not. I thought there was a leftover thing where I could place back down the flower, but I thought I got rid of it. I did.
That child looks like something from Mario. I can't think of the name.
What, a toad?
Like a Goomba? A Koopa? What am I thinking of?
I don't know, because like she's got like a little dress on. I'm not exactly sure what Mario thing is. It the yellow? Is the color part of it?
Let me make it bigger. Oh, okay, now I see what I'm looking at. Before, the yellow hair just made the whole head look like it was like a yellow triangle.
Okay.
I thought it was like a mushroom capped creature.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now I see what you mean with that.
Or maybe like a little Lego guy with like a yellow.
As you do, as I do here. Alrighty then. So yeah, we'll end this off here. There she is. There's our girl, Trixie. Trixie will return at a later time.
I know this is like not in the plan, but I would love if every time you shifted to another character, there was like a little 5-second like musical intro, like a choir going like Trixie, little jazzy music thing, and then it's like, like think of like those like Liberty Mutual commercials with the Limu.
Oh,
was it Limu Emu or something?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I want that.
We'll see. I gotta get music person on it. For a first in our friend group, James is not actually the music person for this.
What?
Yeah, well, granted, I'm going to have James do music stuff in the future, but the primary music person is not him, mostly because I commissioned music for this 5 years ago, and it's just taking me this long to get around to it. That's my bad.
That's valid. No, that's
yeah,
valid.
and I would very much still come to them for more stuff.
Why doesn't Riker have the mail carrier hat and the strap?
Oh, because he has a detail that is yet to be... Oh, yeah, no, his main thing is because he's a package guy.
Ah.
He does, although
he's like the hot UPS guy from Legally Blonde, the music and movie.
Sure. Yeah. His thing is going... Yeah, because his whole thing...
Kyle Boyle.
That's right. Hang on, let me bring it back here, because I showed this off last time, again, when you weren't here, so...
Last time!
Riker's
Curtis creates gaming.
Riker's big ability that he brings to the table is he can lift things out of the way. So, like, at the starting point, when you start the game, you can't get past this area, but later Riker joins your party, and he can...
No, I get it. I remember now.
Yeah.
Cloud, I forgot your game was very dark. I'm on board now, I understand.
It's very what?
Dark Cloud.
Dark Cloud... Wait, what?
Dark
Oh, wait, that's
Cloud.
the game you mentioned that you played, right?
Yes. Okay. So it was a PlayStation 2 game, if I recall correctly. RPG type, but you would switch between other party members to be able to do something. For example, there was a cat girl that would join your party. She had a slingshot that she could use, and she could jump over things that you couldn't jump over. There was also a big, like, kind of buff guy that could do stuff. And then, like, your original guy who could do things.
Yeah.
That was a really good game.
I would say that this is technically more Lego inspired, because again, these are technically Lego. Okay, so the water thing, that's not a Lego archetype. That's a bit more, almost not
like
even quite Zelda.
Nintendo.
Yeah,
I was thinking like Link to the Past.
It may be a bit more. Well, actually, no, yeah, because the water vessel thing is kind of meant to be more like a Zelda-esque item. And while technically all these other things are also... Actually, no, because, I mean, Jita's bow, that's definitely a Zelda thing, because the bow is a classic, Zelda item. But Trixie is more meant to be represented from the Lego games, the targeting character archetype, a character with a ranged attack. Riker is meant to represent the strong character archetype, which, they normally have strength, they can pick things up. And then Trixie is the agility character archetype. Normally the agility characters also have like double jump and more like verticality and can like swing on poles and stuff like that. I do not have this in this 2D top down, so I just
Vertical? Did he? No.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, there's that.
I can feel James angry reacting. He's not watching the stream, but like
Yeah.
he feels a sudden flare of
Yeah, he's
rage.
just he sneezes every time you make a pun. Is Kauthar making a pun again?
Like,
but yeah, and then oh yeah, Sham, you didn't see him here. I'll show him probably next time. Sham has explosives, which is against the Zelda bombs, but again, it's also based off of the silver, explosive character archetype that's very common in Lego games as well. And
I'll
again,
take your word for it.
I attribute it more to Lego games because with Zelda games, you're the one person who has all of them, whereas in this game, each character has those. That
so what I'm hearing is Dark Cloud: Link to the Past mashup.
Kind of, yeah. At least in terms that you're familiar with.
I love Link to the Past. That was my first Zelda game, and it still holds a big place in my heart.
Yeah, I'm looking forward because what I also want to do is I want to have a randomizer mode where you can actually unlock things out of order, and it changes the way that you explore the map. So, like for example, if you say started a randomizer for the game, and you get Trixie first, that changes the entire game's start because I don't have the bow. Or the water abilities, but since I can jump over things, I can go out of places that I couldn't go before. Somewhere in the map, in the starting area, there'll be an area that you need to be able to have a large jump to jump out of. So that's going to be Trixie's way to backtrack to the starting area.
Nice.
So that's how.
Also, is there going to be how in Pokemon when you encounter and it's
that no.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be a turn-based battle. All the fighting stuff will be
not
done
a turn-based battle. I just meant when you, you enter a danger zone or something.
Oh, I do want to do something with dynamic music. I do not actually have a dedicated battle track that has been, at least not an overworld battle track that has been made yet. I'll look into it later at some point. I might experiment with some placeholder tracks. I do love me some dynamic music.
In that house.
What?
I said there's bread in that house.
There's bread. It's a market area.
Two of my great loves, bread and swords, right next to each other. Yeah,
it's bread and swords. Okay. Oh yeah, this money thing. This is what was causing the flower crash from earlier.
So don't do it, is what I'm hearing.
Well, it's just simply because the flower didn't have money. It's because the flowers were free. They were crashing the game.
Stupid capitalism.
Yeah, so you got all this stuff here. I'm not sure if this market will exist in this form. Last thing
Once again, when capitalism is in play,
something
is
I do.
Sasuke Uchiha down there?
What? That's Nigel.
Or is it that guy from Final Fantasy? The guy who looks like Sasuke, but he's
that looks like Knives.
Noctis? Is it Noctis? Knives.
His name is Nigel. He likes knives.
When I hear Nigel, Nigel makes me think of Nigel from Crossing Jordan, which is a cop drama about a medical examiner named Jordan, for the record.
Okay.
Takes place in Boston.
All right. The last thing I mentioned.
Jennifer Hahn was in it. It's fine. Catherine Hahn. Is it Catherine Hahn? Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, I think it's Catherine Hahn. You mean? Yeah.
I was thinking. I'm watching Parks and Rec, and the character she plays is named Jennifer.
I plan on having a thing where instead of potions, you have food items, and the reason I want all these different food items is that I want to have a mechanic where the characters have favorite foods. And if you feed them their favorite food, it gives them more health as if you just fed them a normal item. So just a little thing if you remember the character's favorite food, if they offhanded mention it, take that one if you know they're in the party.
So I am a huge Harvest Moon, fan. I love that as a game. And so I always remember, saving the little booklet that would come with the game and, flipping through, this is so-and-so's birthday and this is their favorite thing. And, you'd go to Big Buff Bob, who, ran the ranch, and you'd, bring him strawberry jam on his birthday, and the hearts on his, thing would go up. Oh, love that shit.
He looks like the girl from Addams Family. Yeah. I guess so.
Wednesday?
Gender-swapped Wednesday. Yeah, I guess
I think there's a romance for Wednesday in the Addams Family musical, but I haven't actually seen that musical. Couldn't tell you for sure.
Yeah, I believe, that's how it goes. Yeah, she's growing up. She'll be Thursday before you know it.
I have an idea, and again, this is your baby, so please disregard if it's garbage. But what if, when it becomes night, the market like changes from like the regular market to the night market? Like maybe the items that are there are now different items.
It is a good. Stop giving me good ideas. I'm having trouble with the ones I already have. But yes, that is the kind of things I want.
Or something, and then like maybe like little torches or something around that appear when it's night. It's the night market now.
Yeah, I do want some interactivity like that. So you're thinking on the right path.
I mean, you don't have to take the idea, but also write it.
I will try, because it is a fun idea. It would
also,
be nice.
It's just fun to be like the night.
The night market. This is in the day market they sell bread. At the night market they sell toast.
I like it though.
Yeah.
Or there's like only a certain item that you can get at the night market. Or like, maybe the night market only appears at night on like certain days, and it's like, I don't know.
Get a bit of that Majora's Mask stuff. I don't like a good portion of Majora's Mask, but stuff like that I do like. So
honestly, I don't know. I haven't played that one, or I don't have a lot of memories of Majora's Mask. My memory of it is foggy.
Yeah. I don't like the resetting mechanic, but I like the interactivity of the town, so I will see if I can get some stuff like that. So yeah, very final thing here. So Trixie's ability, which is currently not working in the game, is she is also a fire character, in opposition to Jita, however, who tosses down this little campfire that heals you up. Trixie uses her fire skills to kind of light her fist on fire and punch things.
Oh, I love it.
And because she is kind of doing it, she doesn't really have any protective gear. Her big thing of protection is she does have fur. But I mean, if you do it for too long, she does take damage, because obviously fire burns. Which is why she pairs up very well with Jita, because her ability takes damage and Jita's ability heals you back up. So this is where we got the opposite of ludonarrative dissonance is ludonarrative continuity. Of like, yes, they are friends and they have complementary skills.
Beautiful. We love to see it.
Yeah,
also, I'm thinking about earlier when you referenced Brave, but I didn't realize you were talking about the movie, and so I thought you were calling me like, "Oh, you're brave for doing such a terrible
You're very brave
impression."
for referencing such as that.
No, for making such a bad, like, "Oh, you really went for it, huh?" That was a bad impression.
Yeah. No, Trixie is not a firebender. No, most of the people
firebending slice.
Yeah, most of the characters in this game do not have innate magical powers. They instead have a gem of some kind. Or a conduit, as I'm calling it, that does it. My
gem is comedy.
Comedy.
I have a comedic gem on this earth.
Yeah. The big thing in this world is that the kingdom you take place in has a very important role, because they are the main exporter of conduits, of magical based rocks.
Oh snap!
So that gives them a very important role, and it would pop up anyway.
Some narrative continuity, bitches.
If you could change your feet, would you, Curtis? I don't know. I'm really liking where I'm at right now. I like the friends that I've made. I like the stuff that I get to do. I like the fact that I can just have friends that I'll pull up on a stream to talk to for a couple hours while I work on things that I enjoy and have good company. And have friends to talk to. I think
love
this
you,
is
Curtis.
pretty good.
You're a gem. You're actually the conduit. Turns out the real conduit was the Curtis we made along the way.
Mutual love. Like, I'm at the point in my life now. There's obviously some things I like, but I got 85% of the things I like. I'm good if this stops here. I still would like more, but this wouldn't be a bad place to stop.
Yeah, we love friendship.
Yeah. All right, so it is almost 3 hours now. We've gone quite a far.
I see that.
This is the thing.
My degree in yapology bites me in the butt yet again.
Yeah. Is Trixie's gem claw themed? That's a detail that's too detailed for pixel art. So haven't really come across it.
But fan art is a thing, and if you check out the comic that I voice in, you can get a better idea of her reference.
Actually,
and then, Knight, if you want to make fan art,
I will say, hang on. Let me put it in chat just for. I mean, you could also easily find it on the channel, but just for the sake of convenience, I'll drop the.
I'm sorry, Ryoma. Okay, I never shut the hell up, and y'all know
This
this
is longer than my stream. To be fair, Ryoma, previously you had the longest stream. So you are at least at number 2 there.
I'm more long-winded than Ryoma pretends to be shocked.
And here, yeah, let me toss it in. Oh, wait, what? Where is the chat? Do I need to...
Gotta get chat. Back to the chat. Samurai chat.
Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here it is. Here is the link to it. Yeah, so which features, this video features the wonderful voice acting of
Velvet,
Kauthar.
Heidi.
Of Velvet, of Heidi, and of yourself.
Which, Velvet, I had never heard of them before, but they're amazing.
Yes.
And then Heidi, who I have heard, and if the honor is all mine, is also amazing. A goddess, and she's in Book 4 Air, and she's also great, and you should check her out.
I'm glad you think it's funny. Yeah, and there's more. I recently finally finished up the one for Riker. Oh yeah, and it's worth noting that our friend Sam did the art for that.
Yes.
Who recently just released her very well done Kyoshi animation.
Sam Lee Wins, aka Mechanical Penky, aka Speed Demon Animations, has just released her Rise of Kyoshi animation, which is chapter 1 of the novel Rise of Kyoshi, and it's amazing. And it's on her channel, Speed Demon Animations, on YouTube, and you should definitely check it out and support her because she's great. And if we support her, then she'll make episode 2, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah. She does Genshin. Okay, there you go, Ryoma. Now you've given me permission. Now you've mentioned Genshin. Now I can say it. Yeah, so...
Oh, is that a Splatoon reference?
No. It's the other... Well, because that was the other thing, of course, is the Genshin stuff. That's what Ryoma's giving me thing for. So yeah, I just know the people... I don't cast very creatively, I'll be honest. Again... Cow voiced, her stuff with Toph, and while she's different in Trixie, it's very adjacent. It is very adjacent. Heidi was definitely straight up typecasted based off of all the stuff I've seen her in. And Red, the main thing that she does is stuff with she does Genshin, and it's primarily Lumine, the female protagonist of that story. So and in this one also the protagonist. So there's a pattern here, let's say.
I need to befriend Red Velvet. They're great, and I would like to know them. There's
a lot that definitely a friend. I haven't interacted with her too much, but what little I have has been quite the joy. So yeah, we should cut this off before we actually officially get to the 3-hour mark.
I mean, let's just hit the 3-hour mark. We're right there.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, the completionist. Let's go for a couple more minutes. Yeah, my favorite Splatoon character, Genshin.
Let's do a wrap up, because I bet our wrap up would be 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
The wrap up.
Sorry,
yeah.
You can also talk about Genshin. We can go past.
I was gonna say Genshin was another heavy. Well, not hate to say it, but Genshin is like. Postal Knights is a very particular game thing that I wanted. Genshin is the closest thing we've gotten to what I've wanted from a video game, in terms of like how it does stuff with its story, with its characters. Now, the big difference between how Genshin does its character stuff and how I do it is that there's basically 6 archetypes when it comes to abilities. Or no, 7 based off of the elements. And so...
Like the Dragon Balls.
Every character really only has like one of 7 main abilities, so it's not every single one is unique, like how I'm planning to do it in Postal Knights. But yeah, it's very similar because of how much they go with the story. The idea of story quests was something I yanked from Genshin. The idea of just, okay, here's a quest where the side quests are just fully dedicated to one particular character from the cast, so you get to know them better. Whereas Genshin's quests are a lot more convoluted, where they'll be like, oh, there's a big thing, grand story that goes on that takes you about an hour, whereas these are going to be more like, hey, Gita, let's go in the forest and find a flower and go on an adventure sort of thing.
Let's go to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
It's good. The door is all that was and all that will be.
Shun the non-believer.
Shun.
Shun.
All right, we're almost there. So, any last things you want for the wrap up then?
Any last words? I'll be back. I don't know.
You will be.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for letting me yap for 3 hours. I never shut up, and I guess it's worked out in my favor this time. Thank you for letting me talk about stuff. Everybody, please check out Curtis's gaming development streams, his comics, all his cool stuff. Come check out Book 4 Air Restoration Project. Check out Writer's Block Production and the stuff that they will be releasing, hopefully with that TMNT comic dub coming out near October. Please support artists and voice actors and people with a creative craft. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I've gotten through all the most people I've wanted for the first time, so we're probably going to have some reprises.
Round 2.
In the near future. Oh, you gave me Robotics Club flashbacks there, because that's literally how it went. Is they would say round start and then do.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That was totally unintentional.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You have plans for the birthday gifts? Ooh, we'll see how that goes. I'm honored that I am now in the crosshairs of the Night and Starlight animal creations.
Yeah, Night and Starlight don't play around.
Yeah.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble.
That's so good.
Yes.
Oh my god, I don't know why, but that reminds me of this random anime to watch on Saturday morning cartoons, which probably nobody has heard of. But it was called Ultimate Muscle. And to this day, I can just, like, the theme song. It was basically literally about all these, like, wrestlers. And there was this kid who was from this planet called, like, Ultimate Muscle. Like, this muscle planet of, like, these beefy guys, right? And then, like, I think the world was in danger or something, and he got sent away, very Superman-esque. But I think the plot is in the themes. I'm gonna do it real quick. look up the real one later.
Final thing.
These bad boys from outer space, ultimate muscle, here to body slam the human race, ultimate muscle. I can't, I'm laughing. Look up the Ultimate Muscle 4Kids theme song. You will not be disappointed. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Curtis creates controversy, and we'll see you guys next time.
Alrighty then.